Back in my bag, yo. Conscious. ISO. Diamond. Back in my bag and I gotta brag, I do this shit for real. When we was down and we had nothing, we had to share a meal. We put the shit in overdrive with no steering wheel. Shorty throw that thing back in a pair of heels. Yeah, she be riding on that thing like a Ferris wheel. Yeah, I love them dark skin, brown skin, caramel. You know I had to bring it to the hood like she Karen Civil when she keep on turning head. Cause when she walk that thing jiggle. And we going back to back on them like we Huey and we Riley. This that back in my back flow, we back again so highly. This that back in my back flow, we back to change the climate. This that back in my back flow, we bring the force like Tommy. Back in my back flow. Back in my, yeah, back in my bag, yeah. I'm back in my, I'm back in my bag, yeah. I'm back in my, this my, back in my bag flow. Back again, yeah, we keep on stacking it, what's happening? Everything in Gucci got me feeling like I'm dapper then. Life has been a movie, yeah, so shout out to the cameraman. Pull up to the scene, it's going down like an avalanche. Steady going up like a travel plan. Homer Simpson face, lucky power plant. Yeah, I'm off that dope, like I'm back again to busy at the Millies. Out on Club Hurst, give the word if it's a cinch, Lord forgive me. Still having motion, dog, so why would I slow it? Make it rain on them, bust a band, then you throw it. We was steady having it, even at our lowest. High speed road runner, keep my motor going. Hey, people feel away, but they don't show it. Gotta watch the people that's around you, that you grow it. They be coming around you with some plans to steal your moment. Soon as I bust a nut, she be like, baby, where you going? Never slowing down, it's enough to go around. Yeah, you probably knew it's then, but really you don't know it's now. Niggas let it show and tell, but all my niggas know me well. It was either chase a dream or go to jail, but none of us ain't going. Going back to back on them like we Huey and we Riley. This that back in my back flow, we back again so highly. This that back in my back flow, we back to change the climate. This that back in my back flow, we bring the force like Tommy. Back in my back flow. Back in my, back in my bag, yeah. I'm back in my, I'm back in my bag, yeah. I'm back in my, this my, back in my bag flow, Yeah, not for real. Double I. Do or die, you already know. Don't try.
One went out, cause we only had a little bit, but are you high on cigarettes? And when that stuff runs out, you're gonna wanna make it. Are you high on cigarettes?
Let's watch Juvan's witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvan's witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvan's witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvan's witness and get high on cigarettes. Do you know know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong? He don't smoke 'em, but he loves it when you do. That's why he's high on cigarettes.
Hey, babe.
And if you find him, you should light him up a few. He's getting high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's witness and get high on cigarettes. Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong?
Do you know that you're right or wrong?
Lights go dark, the stream comes on. Javon's here, the vibe is strong. Click and clack, the steel in sight. Every edge sharp in Friday night. Night flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide. He talks the craft with steady flow. Steel and story you'll wanna know. Flick of the wrist, how smooth it goes. Every frame a master show. Night flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide. From Bowie to Karambit Steel, every flick has that cool appeal. The chat goes wild when he reveals a masterpiece you wish was real. Viewers locked in, they can't resist. The flick of steel's a weekly twist. Carving moments, he makes it slick. Juvon streaming, doing the trick. Viewers locked in, they can't resist. The flick of steel's a weekly twist. Carving moments, he makes it slick. Juvon streaming, doing the trick.
Nine Lives presents Morris.
Don't you love our vacation slide?
I've seen better pictures on cave walls.
That's you by the cactus.
Which is which?
Intermission, din din.
You go, I'll save your seat.
Don't be finicky, it's 9 lives.
I can picture that.
Liver chopped platter.
9 Lives chopped platter.
Nine.
Hey guys, how is everybody doing? I hope y'all can hear me okay. I hope I'm not too loud. I hope that didn't blow you guys out. I hope everybody's having a fantastic Friday. Welcome to Friday Night Flicks. Back from Blade Show. I apologize for last Friday. I should have put up a post. I knew it was going to be hard to go live from there because we were going to try Thursday night, but it's too much. But I'm glad to be back on a schedule. I've got my Blade Show haul over here to my right to talk about. Got a cool special guest coming in to talk about these little pocket fixies that are designed here in the U.S. and they are made by David Mary Custom in Canada. I think he does 9 or 10 of each model. on the site now are these guard dogs. These are in AEBL and micarta. It's called a sheep's bill is what he calls this knife. Very gentle hawk bill, but that's the guard dog. My favorite new one that's also on the site is the bulldog. This little guy is 4 3/4 inches long. Just a little utility knife, AEBL, handmade in Canada for Lucky Dog Knife Company. For Andrew, who'll come on tonight, I've got some paper on there. And then later this summer, he's got a new design coming in, the River Dog, and he has more of these ranch dogs, which was the first one I bought from him. That'll be in AEBL. This one's in 3V. By doing them in AEBL, he's able to bring the price down a little bit. It looks like it's about $20 less than what these were. And then the River Dog that I don't have represented here is a spear point. Small EDC fixies, not tactical jabby fixies, but keep in your pocket to open your packages, to cut open stuff. Really cool little knives. I'm glad he's going to come on and talk a little bit about what they've been up to. But I'll go through and say, hey, in a second, I can run through, for those of you who aren't here Tuesday, I did get the original goat pink polymer scales on my Vision FG Civivi. And you can't see, look at the texture in those scales. They are so tacky and grippy. And you guys will see this video maybe this afternoon. It went live. And I got so lucky. I used my Benchmade pivot tool and pushed the pivot through. And the tool went all the way through, dropped the scale on, pushed the pivot through, and I didn't have to take the knife apart. I felt like I cheated for everybody who went to watch that video because I thought I was going to have to take this all the way down. And it was like a Jedi trick. But I love the Vision FG. I know it's an older knife, but it's still my favorite knife under $100. I've also got the Vision R from Wii, the first one I got, and I think this one's better. I'm going to get some aluminum or some titanium scales from Original Goat in the future, and I think this knife will just be perfect. Another cool thing, and I've noticed the drop bear is coming out in a top liner lock, and it's coming out in other blade shapes. This is a 12th anniversary one that we picked up at the Kaiser dinner Saturday night. Those of us that went to the Kaiser dinner, which was most of the crew I traveled with, even Shane. So this is a just a drop bear bar lock, 12th anniversary edition special box. This will probably make it to a member giveaway. Drop bear is a great knife. I've got a lot of knives that fit this category, so I carry other stuff. Probably my favorite pickup at Blade Show, and I bought this from TRM because I didn't want to wait for a display copy or a review copy. This is the little tag along. It is in PSB 27 steel. I think that's what it's called, which is a powder form spray steel that is kind of like D2, but better in all of its characteristics, has more chromium. So it's more stainless. It's stronger. It's tougher. Micarta handles, and these little guys are under $200. They come with either a leather taco sheath or a leather pancake sheath and an ulti clip. They're just a ready to go small little package. And I talked to the husband of Marianne, Lee, the owner, starter, I guess, founder of Halpern Titanium and then TRM, and asked who designed these knives. And he actually designed these knives, which I thought was pretty cool. And then a long time ago, I traded for a knife. I forget with who, but it was for Carry Development, a company I hadn't heard of. And it was a new company. And it's been about 4 years now. And I got to meet Tim, Carry Development, at his table and pick up one of his new Banshees, which is a Nitro V. I think it's 62.5 HRC, a laser beam, super, super sharp. And it uses this new grip material that a lot of people, you guys are going to see a lot of. I know Jacob at Very Good Knife Company did a video today. He picked up a lot at Blade Show, but it almost feels like a recycled thick tire, like if you walked on a rubber workout mat, but it was real dense. So this has got the strength and the resilience of G10, but it's got a softer feel. It's really a nice grip material. It's called Grip Tech, is the company that makes it. But this is a wonderful little knife. And he does regular Kydex sheath, but he does these cool Kydex sheaths too that are designed to drop in your pocket. That's why you've got the deep concealment carry clip on the front. You've got a little foam in the, or fuzz in the sheath, kind of like you would in a pew pew. Nice retention. And then most importantly, the flat back. So when it's in your pocket, you don't feel it. You don't feel the hard edges, right? And that is a Carry Development Banshee, number 17. We'll look at some of his knives later. And then one of the most surprising knives that I also bought, I did not wait for it to be sent for me to review. This is a Tenable, which Tenable is the budget version of concept knives. And this is a little knife called the Par. It's designed by a USA designer, Jonathan Stiles. I did not meet Jonathan, but I saw this little knife under the glass. And at the show, it was $40. When it hits the market, which I think it might be on Amazon now, it's $48. G10 handle, really thin little flat ground reverse Tanto blade. Probably about, I'm guessing 6 inches. 6 1/4, but very slim. Comes with, from an importer, I was kind of impressed. Comes with a little in the pocket clip. So it's set up to be worn in your pocket, but $48 for a great EDC fixed blade. I would probably recommend that over the Tucson. It's in 14C, 28N. And then one of my other favorite finds, I've also got, I picked up the leather sheath for this too. I also picked up a longer grip. This is the Piranha grip. I've got a grip that's about an inch longer, and they also make a ring grip for this. This also has the new Ulti-Clip, which you can mount horizontally or vertically. This one, Best Design and Show. If y'all are Ulti-Clip fans like I am, that's an old Ulti-Clip. That's the new one. But this is the collaboration between Melissa Backwoods and TKL. It's called the Worn EDC. It's the same size as my little Piranha. Uses the same grips, but it's a wicked little aggressive Warncliffe blade. And again, you can buy an attachment where you switch out the grips and you've got a ring. I've got some longer grips that I picked up instead. You choose either the extended rings or the extended grips. Extended grips take it back that much further. So it gives you a full grip if you put these grips on, and you just simply take out that bolt, 2 bolts, and swap them out. And then they are thick at the back, so they come together flush. I don't know if that's picking it up. Yeah. So this is a really cool little knife. I think they sold out at the show. I know they sold out on the site before the show, and I think it's been super, super popular. Now, I'm sure Melissa's been promoting it, and she's got a huge following, but hats off to a really good knife. It reminds me a lot of my TKL Adversary, just a smaller version. So I'm sure she just put some of the elements together, but what a great little knife. This is set up to carry on your belt right now. I've got the sheath is what I carry it in, and I carry it as a deep pocket dropper, usually with the extended grips. And then you guys might remember my straight line EDC Ernie an Alley video. I kept the Ernie. I did a video on the Alley, which was the Warncliffe. The Ernie's the reverse Tanto. This is a guy I met for the first time at Blade Show. His name's Igor, and he worked for MKM Maniago Knife Makers for years. And he designed a few knives for them, like the Mira 1 and the Mira 2, a knife I bought from MKM. And I noticed this little straight line on the blade, which is his maker's mark. Well, he started straight line knives about a year ago, and he had some new designs. And instead of making them in M390, he's making them in 14C, and it's dropped the price about $60. These are right around 100. I think White Mountain Knives has them for 107, and they are, you can put a 10% discount code, Javon 10 or anybody else's. Nice jimping on the blade. This is a collaboration between Straight Line Knives, Igor over in Italy, and David C. Anderson, who's a knife designer, who's also the face and personality of Knife Center. So the Digger is kind of an interesting blade, really utilitarian flat ground, 14C 28N, very comfortable. They also sell a Kydex sheath. It comes for that $100 with a leather pocket dropper sheath, which I think are some of the best in the game. But if you want to pick up a Kydex sheath, I think they're about $25, maybe 30. You can pick up a Kydex sheath for it too, if you want something lighter. But finally, we'll look at this one first, then I'll show the most dangerous that almost got me splinter or stitches on Sunday. This is a little TKL Nightshade reverse Tonto. They also make a Nightshade Warncliffe. So basically, this is a little ring knife that's a utility cutter, small bladed EDC, but wicked self-defense knife. You could sharpen this front bevel if you wanted to, but you wouldn't need to. It's very piercy, very slashy, and it's a ring knife with the Warrior grip, which is just, if you've ever used a ring knife, TKLs are unique in that they're so thin and non-obtrusive. So if you just do a regular grip, your finger will go in the ring. But this is a wicked little, I was trying to decide between this and the Warncliffe, and the reverse Tanto just looked a little more wicked to me. But that's called the, what did I call it? The Nightshade reverse Tonto. Now, finally, the scary one that almost laid my finger open at Blade Show is this MR-1. The MR-1, I didn't know it at the time, is designed to be more of a peacock grip. So I don't know if you can tell this knife, but here's where your jimping stops or your finger stops. And this is sharpened edge. All along that spine is sharpened edge. The bottom's not sharpened, but it could be. But it's designed for this grip. Or if you're doing pull cuts, it would be great for that because, again, your sharpened blades, that Warncliffe, it faces to the top. So I laid my finger right up here, and the little girl at the booth just freaked out. I wasn't going to put pressure on it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if that was the grind or if that was a swedge, like right there, because that's a swedge. That's not sharpened. That is sharpened, and it's very sharp. But this is just a Slurpee saver. What's up, Jason, the Brass Brigade? But that's a wicked knife from TKL over in Georgia, Production Knives. But they had a lot of cool new stuff over there. They had Jared's knife, that little, I forget what it's called, the FRN or FLN. And I wish they'd continue to make some of the smaller knives. But all of their knives are pretty purpose-driven. Like this one was designed for the Marine. The MR1 stands for something specific, but it's the Marine swimming battle unit or whatever. And he's got a lot of tools that he's designed for people. So that's kind of what I brought up from Blade Show. I didn't go crazy, but I had a great time. Now I'm going to say hey to all you guys. I see Derek in here. I met Derek for real. Let's get to the top real quick. I'm going to do this real quick. Brother Marco is in the house and always been in the house. Always the first one in here. What's up, Marco? Neil McKenzie, channel member. What is up? Marcos Gamma was in earlier. I tried to type to him and say hello. I don't know how long he's in here. Good to see you, Marcos. We've got John too. What is up? Heard of Cam Knives? I haven't, but hold that thought and we will look them up together. Let's see. Hold on. KAM Knives. Outdoor, blah, blah, blah. All right. I've got them we'll look at them in a second. I've got them pulled up, buddy. We'll take a look at them if you're still in here. Joe Isabella, channel member, is in the house or stepped back and is going to come back in the house. Always good to see Joe Isabella and Nick Travaglini, and I always mispronounce his last name. Good to see you, Nick. Welcome, 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 buddy. Again, we've got a cool guest coming by tonight. Talk about some knives. We've got some other guests that might stop by. It'll be nice. We will have a good time and lead up to said faction, which will always be a blast. And by the way, I pinned Lucky Dog Knife Co.'s link to the top of the chat just in case y'all wanted to look at it. It's scrolling, but I know you can't click it. My man, Richard Hopkins, channel member. What is up, brother? Good to see you, man. Glad you are here. And John, I've not forgotten you. I've got it pulled up right here, and it looks like it's an interesting knife. I've never seen them before, but we're going to look at them together, and we'll get some feedback from some of the peeps in the chat. My man, Paul Mills, channel member, is in the house. What's going on, Paul? Missed you at Blade Show, buddy. There's so many people I would love to experience that with and have them get to check it out. And I know it never works with schedules, and it's not easy to get there. Heaven knows I would not have made it there if it hadn't been for the kindness of Richard Ellis picking me up and taking me over there. So, but it was great to see people. A lot of you guys I did meet over there. El Capatic, what is up? Channel member. Hopefully I'm not scrolling by anybody. Rody 7420 is in the house. What is up, Rody? Trying to get to the front of the line. Trying to get there. I think I said hey to Neil McKenzie, channel member, but I'm going to say hey to him again. There's Miss Kathleen Smith, channel member. What is up, young lady? Good to see you always. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Kathleen's just a good version of my subconscious. She helps me control the speed bump between my brain and my mouth. She doesn't realize it, and I don't always succeed, but I'm always, what would Kathleen think, is kind of playing in my brain. I never want to offend anybody, but Kathleen is a good tester strip for me. Paul Mike, some of my favorite Instagram pictures, just putting up bangers every day. Good to see you, man. Stoked that you're in here checking out the live. Let's see who else we got in here. Angelo is in the house, channel member. What is up, Angelo? Welcome, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're getting ready to look at Cam Knives, guys. We're just scrolling. Derek, for real, channel member. Dude, I met this guy at Blade Show, and just like me with knives, so many great people. Derek was a highlight. We hung out. Friendliest, warmest dude. Just an absolute, what you would think, right? That's what's cool about, for me, it's an annual thing. And you meet people that you've known online sometimes for years, and it's just so refreshing when they exceed your expectations. It's just great. And Derek is one of those guys, just a rock star. He bought the big thug that I was showing you guys the other night. I forgot who picked that up from Shane, the large thug. But Joseph S. is in the house. Good to see you, Derek. Let's see. Who have I missed? I know I missed somebody. I'm scrolling quick to try to get caught up so we can get into looking at stuff. Jason Grant, the Brass Brigades. Jason is going to join us soon again. I don't know if y'all have been looking at his page. He's been putting out some bangers that have been shipping this week. And I've got Instagram open, so we'll look at some of his stuff that I saw today. Just refining it every day. Joseph, we're going to show it off again. I've got it right here. It's this little guy. but I will show it off and talk about the different options and sheets you can pick up. I was amazed at the price. I bought it at the show. I did not wait for a review copy or try to get a review copy because I wanted it. It was the first and one of two things I bought. The other thing was this Tenable. Those are the two things I bought at Blade Show. Just because I thought they were neat and I did not want to wait for them. I wanted to get them out there to share with you guys because they're that cool of knives. If you're a TRM or a USA made guy and you like little fixies, this is a winner. It is in a PSB 27, I think. I'll pull up the blade steel. New blade steel for me, but very well made leather sheath. You can either choose this taco sheath or a pancake, which in all truth, if they had pancakes at the show, which they didn't, I would have picked up. It's just got a little extra leather over here and a little stitching so it sits flatter in your pocket. But it was my favorite. And then the TKL Melissa Backwoods was my second, and then my Carry Development. But they're all so good. All so good. Paul, if you knew how deep my fixie addiction was, I've got a bunch of folders, but I'm fixie bad right now. Be Shady, another one whose posts on Instagram. If you're not following Be Shady channel member, give him a follow. Cool stuff. Very cool stuff. I think I said hey to El Cap Addict. Channel member, what's up? Stephen Clayton Jr.'s in the house. Good to see you, Stephen. Who else we got? Stobeck Scooter. Talk about people I've known online for 4 or 5 years who I met at Blade Show. And it was like seeing an old friend. There was no awkwardness, no surprise. He was exactly what I expected him to be. He probably can't say it the same as me because I was kind of twisted, but it was awesome seeing you, Scotty. And I wish y'all hadn't lost power because we planned on going out there and hanging with y'all. I think it was Saturday night, but everything worked out. And I'm glad we got to come out Thursday night and spend some time around the table. If y'all don't know, said Stevie gets the same Airbnb or has for the last 3 years, I think, maybe 4. And it's a place that we always stop and hang out one night, usually Thursday or one of the nights during the show, instead of going to the pit. And it's a small group of people like Forrest, Sharif, Scott M was there last year. He wasn't there this year. A lot of times, Joe and his wife were there, Lancelot Leather, but they were at a concert, I think Metallica this year in Atlanta. Snuz is usually there, but Stevie's there. Shane was there. Ryan, just a great group of people. And Izzy and Izzy's son, Urban Woodsman, his son, just a really cool. It's Scotty. That's where I got to really meet Scotty for the first time before the show, before y'all got into the cast of the show. Because the show's chaos, guys. If you want to try to plan to like get with a group of people and then reconnect with a group of people later, it's not going to work. It's just the logistics are just trying to get yourself from point A to point B. And then you'll bump into everybody. You just got to know that people sit in the lobby or in the walking in and walking out area because it just makes sense. But you can't get everybody and see things at the same time, or you're going to miss a lot of stuff because it's just too much. Sensory overload. It took me till about Wednesday till my hips and my lower back felt better because you walk on concrete so much. But today I was feeling my favorite agent, El Cap, is the O2, the Warncliffe. But my favorite TKL, and I don't think I have it out here, is the Adversary. The Adversary is a banger. And that new Melissa Backwoods, if you like a smaller knife. And I'll show you what I'll do real quick. Because this uses a I'm just going to swap these scales off real quick and show you how this knife will turn into a bigger knife. I didn't have a big enough bit. Kim designed these bolts. They're really cool. And it makes changing scales a breeze. So now I've got it down. I can either put on my ring handle, which I don't have because I don't do ring knives that much, but I'm going to put on the extended grips. You can see there how much more handle that's going to give me off those red Piranha grips. Throw my 2 bolts to that one side. That quick. That quick, I've got another inch on the end of that grip. And now it feels to me really good. And in the sheath, it rides deep in my pocket, but I can still pull it out. You can put a lanyard on the end if you want. But the agent, my favorite agent is the O2. I've got an O3 as well, but those are the only 2 I've experienced. But the Warncliffe kind of does it for me. I'm a big Warney fan. They definitely would, Kathleen. When Shane was talking on his live and we talked back at the room, I totally got what he was thinking because he'd had such good feedback from the people that he put the knife in their hand, and he sold a couple that he was, had sold that they were going to be picked up over there. And when you're at Blade Show around so many good knives and a big ocean full of knives, he just thought it'd be better. He's got a show. He's leaving at 5:00 tomorrow morning to go up to Tennessee, a different kind of show, but it's a knife show of sorts. He'll be selling knives there, and he'll have some inventory. That was the first time I'd seen one of Shane's knives, and he designed a knife for me that I got to see that we're doing a few things on. But I want to do a video on one of his thugs. I think Stevie's got a beautiful one, but there's so many beautiful thugs out there, and the flat grinds, I like them just as much as the hollow grinds. They're very slicey. The heat treats are very good because Thursday night, Shane had 9 that hadn't had a chance to be sharpened. One of them didn't have a bevel on it. One of them was Bob DeMarco's knife that Shane had sold him. And I sharpened with my TS Prof for 8 hours straight. Shane and I switching back and forth. More sharpening than I've ever done, and wore all the diamonds off my rough stone, which is fine. It does, Chad. The sheath comes with the tag along, and I've got cam knives pulled up, John, so I haven't forgotten that. But let me pull this real quick. So the 3 Rivers, we're going to look at this real quick. Let's see if they've got any still in stock. They do, it looks like. All right. I'm going to share this real quick because the taco sheath I'm probably not describing it right. The taco is what we've got here, but the pancake sheath. So you can choose your handles. Mine's the blue. You get a pancake or a taco, same price. I'll show you the difference. There's the pancake. The pancake's got stitching on both sides. And then there's the taco. So they've got the taco like a pocket dropper and the pancake kind of like it's on the outside. I don't know why. I'm going to bring Kyle up.
I was here.
I always forget. I'm sorry.
That's all right. What's going on?
But these are the steel is PSB 27, which I read that it's kind of like D2 on steroids. It's kind of done with the spray form where they spray it around a form. I don't know if the form's an ingot or if the form's just pure powder metallurgy, but it's got a little more chromium in it. But the oldie clips do come with them. Now they've got, yeah. See, I would do the pancake sheath if it was me. They didn't have any of those there. But these little guys are $169. USA made, small, but just awesome. It comes with a little bag that'll have the ulti clip, a little bit of paperwork and stuff in it.
What's up, guys?
It was a complete deal. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. Paul, Marco, Cap, Richard.
I haven't even gotten to the bottom yet. I'm trying to greet everybody.
Oh, sorry. I didn't say hi.
What's up?
Saying hey to who said me.
Do you say hey, buddy? Scotty's in here. I don't know if you've met Sobex, but we hung out all weekend long. We've been in the chat rooms.
I haven't met him, but I know Scooter.
Yeah, we've been in the chats forever. And when I met him, he was just another one like Derek for real, who it seemed like you were meeting an old friend. I mean, no surprises, no awkwardness. Really cool guys. Geo Knife, what's going on? I've got a Geo Knife. Geo Knife's a titanium and M390 bar lock imported knife with a really nice textured handle. Very well made. Probably one of the best made. What would you call it? Just a bar lock. Great EDC profile. Good to see you, Geo Knife. Who else we got in here? We've got, I think I'm caught up. Kyle, I think I'm caught up. Fred the Lug's in the house. What's up, Fred? Somebody pointed out Fred the Lug to me when I was in Blade Show, I believe, but he was at a table just covered up with people, and there was no chance to get in there and say, hey. Good to see you, Fred the Lug. You had a lot of people with you at Blade Show. I hope you had a great time. I had a blast. I'd say it was my best Blade Show just because I got to talk to a lot of people that I set out this year. I wrote down 17 booths that I wanted to go to, people I wanted to contact. Jeffrey Dawson, what's up? And I had long conversations with all of those people and got to film their booths, even though it was hectic. And I apologize for the sound being gone on the axial portion. I got scared that I was going to get sued. But it was an unrealistic fear. So I've still got shorts. I've still got the original video with the sound, the little clips. Because basically that video was 3 days of shooting boosts when I could.
Richard, while you're here, I got something to show off. I just finished up your PM3. I cleaned it up, tuned it, took it apart. I'll make you dig
for a second.
It's all right. Got it all cleaned up, tuned, sharpened. I'll try to get it out either tomorrow or Monday. So
that looks gorgeous, dude.
Yep. It's been good.
So
it's got great action on this one too.
What angle do you hit that with? Because I think all spider codes would probably be the same, wouldn't they?
Most of them are between 17 and there are a few that are a little bit lower, but yeah, I typically 15 to 17 typically for spider codes. This was at 17.
Is that kind of what the factory is pretty close to, or do you think the factory's higher?
No, factory's around 17.
I got a question about a Tanto real quick, and then I'm going to look at these cam knives. So my buddy A to Z is working on an ADV. You know what Andrew DeVille's knives are, real thick? And he's using my Blitz, and he's got his burr on his main blade, and on his Tanto, he's got a burr at the tip and at the heel. He's still working the center and has been for days. But I think it's because it's thicker on that Tanto tip. When I looked at it there.
Yeah, it's a compound grind. So it's going to be thicker at the tip than it is at the flat.
But what I'm saying, it's a little thicker in the center of the tip than it would be at the tip and the heel of the tip grind.
All right. So hang on. Let me grab a Tanto.
I don't think it's consistent because usually it's harder for me to get the heel and the tip of that front
So if you see how this area down here is thinner behind the edge than this is thicker up
Correct.
here. So the thicker part behind the edge is going to take a little bit longer than the thin part will. Okay.
Correct.
So if he's having trouble right dead here, he just has to work it until he needs to worry about chasing that grit more than the burr necessarily.
That's what I told him. I said, make sure you smooth it out. And where he messed up is he did not know that on that Blitz 360 that you could raise that little 360 part to get a higher angle and zero out from there. So he had to lay that front back.
Oh, so super thick then.
Oh yeah, he's removing a lot of steel, dude. I tried to get him going because I looked at it today to see what he was up against, and I told him he should double bevel it.
Well, okay, so the only thing that will help there, he could put a secondary on it, but the only thing that's he's not going to be able to raise it in. Okay, so if you get a bevel like that size right there, that's medium to thin bevel. There you go.
Medium to thin.
Okay. Now, if I were to lay that back a lot and it becomes a really thick bevel, the only way to get that back to this size bevel here is to raise your angle and take off an absolute metric shit ton of steel. So there's no point. You can't really do that either unless you take off that much steel where you regrind it, right? So it's best just to get the bevel even all the way across, even if it's super thick, and then just wear it down and then be able to raise it up a little bit later. Now,
he's very, very close.
If he's got it super thick, right, then he could put on so like, I don't know what angle did you say you put on that? Probably based on those knives, he's probably
21, 22.
Oh, it's got to be less than that for it to be that thick.
Well, see, I don't think he never, I don't know how he got that. It looked like when he was setting it up or when he was tweaking it, he lowered that little ball, that little 360 thing all the way down and zeroed from there. So I think the top angle from there is about 21, 22. And he said he was trying to match the factory with the marker.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
No.
I would say he could, like here, I don't know if I've got anything that's super, I don't have any real thick bevels right now to show you, but anyways, if his bevel's super thick like that, what he could do would be take it, whatever he said, he's at 21, and then put a secondary. That's just for sakes of talking about it. Just say you put it at 21, then you could go back over and put like a 25 micro bevel on there to strengthen a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
If he wanted to, he doesn't have to. But
thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Did I see a question?
Yeah, you had a question from El Cap Addict about the Tango. That's a new modern folder from Jack Wolf. Very nice knife. It's a collaboration with Serbius Knives. You want me to pull it up?
I know what you're talking about. I heard about it, but I have not obviously held one yet, so I don't know the blade stock thickness or the behind the edge thickness.
Let me pull it up.
That's going
John,
to be,
I haven't forgotten you.
That's going to be dependent upon the thickness. They're typically pretty thin, like on the base of the rest of their knives. I would say probably somewhere in that 20 range to be safe.
That's what I was going to guess.
You could even start it off at 22, and then if it's too thin, you could lower it down to 20 to get a little bit thicker.
So this guy is going to be, it looks very thin and hollow. The front's a kind of compound drop point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it won't say behind edge thickness on there, but does it say blade stock?
Blade stock is 0.12, 3 millimeters.
Okay. So that means he's probably, is it a hollow you said?
It's a hollow on, can you see this?
Yeah.
It's a hollow here, and it looks flat here.
He's probably taken that down 10 to 15 thou. So yeah, I'd say start it at like a 21, and then you can lower it if you need to from there. But I would start at 21 based on just seeing the pictures without holding it. I mean, your mileage may vary, but the thinner it is, the less you have to take it down. So
cam knives, I've not heard of them. $60.
El Cap, I hope that helped. It made sense.
It looks like, I mean, I like the look of it. It's a liner lock. Let's see if it's going to open up for me. They've got a lot of liner lock designs. Let's see what the steel is. $45. What is out Ukamuku 4116 steel?
Just a cheap steel.
4116.
Yeah, I think Colt still use it for a little while, or Victorinox.
It looks like a nice beefy little knife. I mean, I've never tried one. It looks like they have a lot of designs from fixies to folders. I don't know much about them, but their prices, when I see knives in this price point, if I like one of the designs, I'll try it. They look kind of like a mix between traditional and modern, just because of the handles have a little bullet or something in them. Kind of original, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Reminds me of a Baby Banter, kind of.
What's up, Ant? What's up, Sierra Rick? Yeah, not my jam, but
It's not necessarily my jam, but I'm not at all scared of. They're made in Turkey too. Whoops. Made in Turkey. They all come with a little sheath. See what it says here.
What's the price point on them?
$40 to $60. Like this one with the wood handle, 60. Most of them are 45. They've got camping lights and lanterns too. It looks like they have some outdoor stuff, outdoorsy stuff. Again, they're probably, I'm trying to think, for me, the best sub $30 knife is a CJRB pyrite light for me personally. I have one somewhere that Ryan sent me, and I'd given one away. Oh, N690 fixed blade. John, those are great knives, I'm sure. The bottom line is if it fits your needs, because I only open cat food, cut paracord, and break down Amazon boxes. If it fits your needs and you like it, it is a great, great knife for you.
Be
Thoughts
shady.
on the
I was just getting into that. Those are pretty cool. They're kind of small, but Eric does good work as far as his designs. Speaking of purple, though, you still got one that I'm holding for you. So maybe after that one, you can get the ox. Just kidding. Just kidding.
You know how I told you I had been interested in a whippersnapper?
Yeah.
So I go by and I'm talking to the guy at Olamic, and he shows me a new blade shape they've come out with for the whippersnapper. It looks like that kind of Warncliffey sheep's foot. It looks like the other blades, even though they're slightly different, but it's a compound grind. The front or the back, I can't remember which, is thicker.
Yeah.
It was so gorgeous. I want to say it was $7.95 at the show, which is a great price for what it was. It had a nice handle. I forget what it was.
Whippersnapper just small.
You know it, but my buddy A to Z, who's a big guy, is the one that bought it, and then he let me review it. It doesn't carry like a small knife. It's just like with Ryan when we went to the Oz Machine Company booth, and they had 3 Rosie XLs. I don't think they're selling as well because that knife's so big. And the guy had his personal Rosie, which is a small knife, but it's got such a generous choil that Ryan's like, that's the one I've got to get. The XL is just too big. I don't think the XL is too big, but I think it's, for me, too big.
I love the XL much more than the regular Rosie. I'm not a fan of the regular Rosie. It's too small. But that's just, I like the feeling. It's not so much the Rosie XL is just tall. That's the only dimensions I think that's is a little awkward on it. But the oh, no kidding, be shitty. That's my luck.
What's that?
I had a Halt that I was trying to get rid of, brand new in the box, and I was going to make him a good deal on it. But I didn't know they crazy drop prices on stuff, but we'll figure something out, buddy. I just was waiting for you. I know you said you were moving, so I like to have something that I can get at least partially the pinky on. Like, I don't like it completely free floating. Right. And the regular Rosie, for me, I can't get a pinky on like that fully.
Are you not using the choil as mandatory?
No, I prefer behind the guard if possible. I'll go choil if I have to, but like, so even then I'm like right on the end of it. That little choil there, like on this one, but on the Rosie, it's about maybe even a little bit. I might be out to there on a Rosie,
right,
with the choil, and I don't care for that. I need the hand leads to be a little bit longer. So, like this guy's a small knife. That's the 395, and I can get barely a little bit of pinky on that one, right? And that's like my borderline as small as I'll ever get. So
I saw that guy, and it wasn't me though, buddy, but I did see him. And I wondered if he was one of the Bally Song people, because we saw Bally Song people legit dressed up like furries.
Scooter, you shut your mouth. That's horrible.
I can't find Orcs Works. I think we spelled it wrong.
Oaks, O-C-H-S. Eric Oaks.
O-R-C-H-S or just O-C-H-S?
O-C-H-S.
There it is. And it's called the what?
The Lontra. L-O-N-T-R-A. Ant.
Oh, I found one right here.
My fingers have to have room to breathe. I don't want to hear your shit.
Is this it right here?
What's up, Ellis? Yes.
It's 6.75 inches, which is kind of small, right? Not really?
Yeah. I think it's small. It's too small for me, personally.
It's pretty knife. I'll tell you whose knives I was very impressed with that I have not spent a lot of time with were Michael Martin's at American Blade Works.
Yeah.
And on Sunday, he sold out of everything. Those Model 1s are super nice. And his switchblade that he's coming out with, his automatic, is chef's kiss. And he's doing it himself. And it feels like a ProTech. That's a compliment. But he's a super nice guy. And has
for the thug.
For a thug folder?
I will be number one in line behind Shane for that.
Yeah, they talked about that. I think Michael's really excited. Is it just him making those?
Yeah, he's a sole proprietor and sole operator.
Because his son looked like he was maybe 12, 13.
Yeah, he's hoping to up production. I know he got a new machine, so.
I mean, that's the key. If you're a good CNC operator and you know what you're doing. It was Ryan, and I wasn't an auto guy either. And you know, hopefully your pass will be different, but mine's kind of wiggled all through the woods. And I got into kind of an auto thing where I'm kind of into it now, different from my folders. But I do like an automatic knife.
Paul, I'm always a guest. Step off.
But you guys are going to enjoy Crispy. What's up, brother?
Crispy, get some rest,
buddy. Rest, my man. Oh, I won't. But he sat in the booth with him, and he was a very well-behaved young man. You could tell he's being raised right. He's very involved with the knives. He was talking about them. He's got a bug lock that about a third of them had terrible stick. And I don't know what that is, but I'm sure he can adjust those. The ones that didn't were fluid.
A little bit of stick's not bad on button lock, though.
No, and I know it breaks in.
Well, no, I mean, just even then, safety-wise, a little bit of stick's not bad.
These were a lot of stick. This is like I had to use 2 hands to close it.
Yeah, that's too much.
He is very respectful, Ryan. He's a super nice guy.
Was Michael's wife there? She's nice, too.
No, she was not. It was just him and the son.
Okay.
That's awesome, Scotty. I did not bump into Doug there. I saw him in some pictures after the show, but I did not see him. I did not make it to Spyderco's booth.
Scooter, where in NC are you? I'm trying to remember.
Trying to think what else I missed altogether. I saw almost everybody else. I'll tell you what's impressive, dude, is that tried and true that Steve Kalari and Alex Steingraber collabed on.
Yeah, it's a cool knife.
Dude, it's so thin. I mean, it's scary thin. I guess it's like a paring knife in a sheath. I guess you would consider it that.
I don't know. I think it's more just a traditional, just general task use knife.
Did you hear about he and that guy? What's his name? Yes. I was watching his video. I was trying to show Jeff, my buddy, the background where they towed off.
Yeah. Well, apparently it wasn't really much of a.
No, it wasn't. I just think Steve called this bluff.
Which is the punishment was well deserved because that guy runs his mouth a lot and doesn't ever back it up. So.
Well, in the video that we watched today, where he goes over that tried and true, the handmade one, and he beats up the edge job on it, and he talks about how Steve talks about what a good sharpener is, but this sharpening's all fucked up. And then Steve had video of the knife before he shipped it out.
Yeah,
it had been resharpened.
Yeah,
the bevel was totally changed on it. I mean, it just seemed more like a hit piece.
Well, of course it was.
Awesome, yes. Ryan, jump in. I want you to meet Andrew. Andrew's going to join us here in a second.
Steve's a very good sharpener, and also his geometry doesn't take much for the knives just to absolutely get razor sharp. So whatever that guy was talking about was obviously an attack.
And he's a knife maker too. Something Jacob Peterson, I think's his name.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who I met over there, who I really enjoyed. He's got a great personality, and he was also at the Kaiser dinner, so I saw him several times. Is Outdoor 55.
Alex is a good dude.
Alex is a very good dude. Very low key.
A little odd, but he's a very good dude.
Very odd, but if you watch him in a public setting and you see somebody similar to him in numbers, there's no comparison. He's humble. He's lays back. It's just a totally different deal.
Yeah, he's just
Steve Steel Steve and or Scuba Steve, according to said Stevie. But in Steve's defense, I've met him a couple times. He's about my height. Super nice guy in person, very opinionated, as a lot of people in the community are. And I just respect him for standing on his beliefs, whether they're right or wrong. And he and Whitty had a long conversation.
Yes, yeah, that's who it is.
I'm not familiar with that knife company, Exodus.
That's Jacob.
I'm sure he makes really nice knives too. Got an interesting DM from my buddies at Knives and More. I posted those 2 buck, I think they were 187s, those old marine knives or whatever. I had to pull them down because one of them was reported stolen.
Wow.
Before the guy sold it to him. So I guess because they're very expensive, unique knives.
Yeah, I saw
and whatnot. Guys, I want to bring somebody to the stage. Lucky Dog Knife Company. And I'm going to introduce everybody. What's up, Andrew?
Hey, how's it going?
It's good, man. I can hear you good.
Okay, trying to get my camera set up here a little bit better.
Take your time. And I've got several. Let me get some of these others out of the way. But this is Kyle Coonley, Klingenwek Sharpening, up in the corner.
What's up, Andrew?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man.
And we're about
Good.
We're about to have a buddy join us who took me to Blade Show this year, who had the most epic Blade Show, first year Blade Show of anybody I've ever seen. Not only did he acquire the Holy Trinity in one stop, he picked up awesome knives.
See.
But your knives that you've got in stock are, if I'm not mistaken, the Bulldog and the Guard Dog, right?
Yep, that's right. Yep, I have these two, or those two models in stock right now, and the Ranch Dogs and the here's one right here from the first run. If I can.
Yeah, that's kind of, wouldn't you call that kind of a spay blade? That's kind of how I refer to it.
Yeah, it is. Yep. It's kind of a Barlow inspired handle, and then with a spade blade for the.
Tell these guys how you got started, designing knives, and why how you took the kind of road less traveled. Instead of going to China, you found a custom maker to work with to get you the quality that you wanted in the smaller batches instead of doing huge batches.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm a graphic designer, my day job. And then last year I just, I've always been into knives, so I just thought about maybe designing some knives, and I'm not a knife maker. So I just went on bladeforums.com and started searching around, and I found some more or less, North American local custom makers as David Mary Custom. And he was able to do smaller batches just because I was kind of getting started. So it kind of worked out for both of us because he's just a one-man operation himself. So he was able to do, small batches for me every time. And I was able to
control the quality, get your designs made with little impact. And,
right,
and
yeah.
David makes his own knives, guys, at David Mary Customs, but he also does work for other guys. There's a gentleman, I forget what knife store he's at, who did the Riverhawk. Do you know who I'm talking about, Andrew?
Oh, yeah. Is that?
You don't have to know his name, but David did a knife for him. So this is a guy that's with us here, a USA designer, who found a custom maker to bring his knives to market. And when I first got them last year, I got two that I checked out. I got to check out the Guard Dog and the Ranch Dog. And the Ranch Dog is the one that Andrew was just showing you, this little spade blade, small fixie. And I called him up and I bought this. I did not send this back to him because I liked it so much. I love his designs. And I love the fact that he goes to a custom maker to have his knives made. So I'm going to make you big again, Andrew, and let you finish. I didn't mean to cut you off, buddy.
Oh, no. Do I need to turn my camera? Is that why it's?
No, it's just the way that it's set. It doesn't bother me. I mean, you could turn it to horizontal, but I think everybody can see. So it looks like you've got Guard Dogs at the top.
Yep, right here. Yeah. I just laid out what I have in stock right now as far as the different handle materials. So this is that burgundy one, burgundy micarta here. And the
micarta is so soft and nice.
Yeah, he did a really good job on smoothing it all out, and I put this little groove in here, and it helps with the retention, and but it also feels really good in your hand too, like just to give it a good purchase on it when you're holding it.
That's a great size. And your sheaths are not Kydex, they're Bolitron, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of a step up from Kydex from what I read.
Right. Yeah. I guess it's a little bit better.
Chemical resistant, wear resistant, and holds the form longer according to their spec sheet.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And for these, I decided just to go with all black because I had done like the different colored sheaths before, but actually I sent the Ranch Dog and the Guard Dog to Oak City Leather.
Yeah.
So he has a template actually of those. If you wanted a leather sheath, you can order right from his website. So I'll be doing that for like this Bulldog here and that River Dog that comes out later. as well. So
The Bulldog's the one I fell in love with. I know it's small, but guys, this is a little kind of, I'd call it, what would you call it, a ram's foot?
yeah, I guess I was kind of researching different kind of traditional blade shapes, and it does come up a little bit near the tip here as far as the shape. It kind of goes smaller here and gets a little bit broader at the top. So I guess it's more of a ram's foot style. But it is
very cutty. I mean, it's like a little utility knife.
It is, yeah. Yeah, and
reminds
they're
me
little
of a cashew.
Sorry, they're little the handles are still, you know, a little on the thicker side, I guess. So you can still, there's a lot of grip onto it still too. It's not super thin either, the handle to like fall out of your hands.
Not at all.
Yeah, this lanyard here really gets, you know, your pinky can grab it pretty good. So
yeah, it's a solid 3-finger knife. And like I said, it's not the kind of knife you want to push into somebody, but it's not designed to. It's just a great knife to take out and make your cuts and get back in your pocket. And one thing Andrew's designed really well is he uses my favorite clip, the deep concealment carry clips, and he sets up his Kydex to accommodate those. So they're set up to be pocket droppers.
Right.
And they carry deep, and unlike Ulti clips, they don't rust. My Ulti clips, for some reason in Alabama, do rust. I have to kind of keep them cleaned out.
DCC clips are awesome.
Yeah, here's there's two positions here. I chose this one just because it's called the Mod 5, just because it kind of lines up to the top of the clip nicely. But if you wanted a shorter one, you could mount it on the top and have it, you know, right a little higher, which would keep it
a deeper carry.
Yeah, it's just a little bit more difficult to, you know, if the clip's up here, it's a little bit harder to get it out, but
I think they're mounted in a good position.
I think that's nicely done.
Oh, thanks. Yep. Yeah, and I do have this one here. I just put it on the website actually today. It's like it's a fat carbon version.
Oh wow! I was about to say, what material is that? It looks almost like carbon.
It does.
Yeah, it's the fat carbon
copper,
dark matter gold.
Yeah,
and it has this is actually a 3V version too. And then I put a titanium bead on it, and then
guys, that's another thing on the ones that are on the site now. Now there's a 3V one up there, but they're an AEBL, and the price is down a little bit. So they're, you know, when you look at those knives, and the link's pinned at the top of the chat, but if you look at those knives, they're handmade knives, right? So they're one-off, they're done, they're water jets, the blanks are, but each one might be a little bit different because they are handmade.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, which is, you know, I kind of really enjoyed that part of it actually, is because they're all, I mean, obviously they're nicely done, but they're all just, you know, they just look a little bit different than like a production type knife. You know, it doesn't look like it was made by a
machine,
or, you know, just that kind of thing. Yeah, so they're all a little bit.
Those look nice.
A little bit different, but yeah, thank you.
Is the water jetting, is that pretty economical to get a set of knives water jetted? We've got a friend who makes knives. I'm just curious what, I mean, I would think if you take the time that David puts into cutting them out, it's a no-brainer that it's more economical, and you get them all the same basic size.
Yeah, actually, what are they called? Yeah, David gets like a huge batch done at one time. So he does like a bunch of his designs and mine and other ones too, all at once from New Jersey Steel Baron actually does it.
Right.
And then he has Peter's heat treat, do the heat treating on it. So that's all taken care of before, you know, he gets them to finish them off. But yeah, I don't know exactly the details on the water jet pricing stuff.
Yeah, that's part of New Jersey's Steel Baron's offerings. They'll actually do that and then ship directly to Peter's for you, which is a nice feature.
Right, yeah.
So you're aware of that, huh, Kyle?
Yeah.
Kyle's kind of helping our buddy with a lot of the logistic sides of what he's trying to do. Thank you, Richard, for putting that link up there. But I can tell you guys, these knives, hey, I've never seen anything like them. They're very, to me, traditionally inspired with
I like it.
kind of higher quality materials. Really unique little knives. I know Andrew did really well with his first drop, and then he just wanted to bring some in a little lower, and you were able to drop that price. Is it like 20, 30 bucks, Andrew?
Let me check. Yeah, about that. Yeah. I think they were, I can't remember what they were before.
225, I want to
or
say.
so. Yeah, I kind of had some different pricing, but these guard dogs are now $184.95, and then the bulldogs are all $164.95. So they're, and
it looks like the bulldogs have been slightly more popular. Did you have the same number made of each?
I've had these for a couple of weeks though. Yeah, I've sold a few more of the bulldogs, I guess, for now, but I've only had the guard dogs back with the AEBL for about a week or so. Yeah, because I'll probably be getting in about maybe 20 or so a month of different models coming in. So he'll start, or David, I'm talking about, is he'll start making the other two models for me, and then start sending those in as well. But I'll start kind of getting replenished by about 20 or so every month or so. But actually, I'm also going to have some 15 and 20 carbon steel blades coming too. So if you want
really
an option.
What's facilitated you doing that? Is it just something that you wanted to work with?
I guess David kind of recommended. Well, I guess he uses it a lot too. I guess he's told me it's similar to AEBL, just a carbon steel version. So it should be pretty tough and easy to sharpen and work with. But it'll take like a patina and that kind of stuff if you want that type of look.
Right.
Would look nice with a patina on them as well. So.
Those look kind of like, I've got I use splicing knives as an electrician a lot, and your bulldog actually reminded me of those knives. I tried to look to see if I had one here to show you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But
you have a lineman knife, don't you, Andrew?
Oh, what's that?
You have a lineman.
That's very good. That's a different company.
Okay, sorry, my bad. I remembered having someone had a lineman knife with that kind of that curve.
Oh,
yeah. It's got like a hawk bill on it.
Well, he's got the Linesman and a Linesman XL, which are hawk bills, and then he's got a little knife called the Splicer, Jacob at Very Good Knife Company. So I think he has 4 knives specifically that come from classical electrician designs.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, your bulldog reminded me a lot of it, and something I have a problem with mine is, of course, I'm just buying a Klein. It's a mass produced. There's no edge retention whatsoever. And once you lose the edge on that thing, you're not getting it back.
Oh yeah.
So if you got something like that, that with MagnaCut or something that has a decent edge retention, you can make a lot of sales just with electricians alone.
Oh, okay. I guess I didn't realize that. So this is kind of a style that.
Yeah, like I said, I wish I had one of them here. I got one out in the truck. I don't want to go get it, but
even the other one had that same kind of downward tip that'll help keep you in the cut through.
Yeah,
they're very.
And I'm not huge on the recurves and stuff, but I really like how you've done yours. It's more like subtle.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, it was kind of mostly just for opening packages and stuff, because I have this little dent on the top there. Just put your finger in there.
Yours definitely looks very functional. I like them, man.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That kind of that downward tip a little bit has more of that keep you in the cut for something like what Ryan was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Andrew, if you don't mind, would you mind showing that first one you showed off with the kind of this I didn't get to see the blade real well, but I like the handle look on that first one.
Oh, the burgundy one.
The one that had the kind of the spade blade.
Oh, that one. Yeah. This one. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
really
that's
like
cool.
that. Yeah, I like the handles on that one a lot.
Oh yeah.
What is that?
This is like paper micarta on this one, bone paper micarta. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the black micarta, paper micarta, but
Yeah, it looks sharp.
yeah,
Check
I'm gonna
this
have
one out.
a couple of these more made in this color combination, but it's kind of hard. It's hard to find this
Oh,
material.
John's got one.
That's Spicoti wood, I think. And tell me
Yeah.
if I'm wrong, because I probably am, Andrew.
Oh,
and then
right,
this,
yeah.
this is the dark. I forget what that's called. That's wood at the front.
Wingay.
Wingay.
Yeah.
So that's the pattern I think is going to be available too.
Right. Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's classy looking. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, this paper micarta or the bone color especially is hard to. I've been having trouble trying to find it, but
If you, I'll send Javon some info. There's a couple places I know that carry it pretty regularly.
okay. Well, I guess I did have a little trouble. I did send some this burgundy and the green to David, and one of them is from a U.S. company, and we had quite a little bit of trouble getting an order.
Customs.
But what was that?
I might have a solution for that too, because I proxy for someone in Canada, which there are some ways around some of that stuff too.
Yeah. It was all of a sudden like a pretty large import fee just for a little box of some material.
Yep.
It's weird that you say that. I get stuff sent to me from time to time to review, and I had a package that came from China, and this was 2 weeks ago, and they had a value marked on it, but it was a display box, and UPS is starting to collect COD for a lot of those tariff increases. I had to pay like $41 for that package, but I've heard of several who bought Herman knives, from Polish custom knife makers.
Yeah.
They're like $1,000 knives, and when they get to the user, UPS is charging like $150
Oh,
for
wow.
them to receive their knife, or they can send it back. So I didn't know that's how they were handling it initially.
Yeah, I'm not completely sure if this is from the tariff stuff.
I think it is. Yeah, that's what the UPS driver thought.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I got an email saying there was the package was going to be have a charge on it, so I just paid it beforehand for him. I didn't want him, in Canada having to pay it. But
do they have the same type of sources for materials there in Canada, or are they kind of limited like we are here?
I think it's pretty similar. There was I can't remember where I bought. One of these was from like Canada and a knife maker or something like that. They had quite a good selection, just not everything always in stock all the time, but I think they had there's quite a bit of materials available up there too.
So you go in and pick out the materials that you're going to match up, right? So you're not letting David do that. You're kind of deciding what the combinations are going to be.
Yeah, for the most part. He just sent me like for these two wood ones here. This Bacote and Osage Orange. He just recommended these two, and I liked them, so I kind of went with that. But then I know I wanted like a green one and a black one.
And your burgundy's gorgeous too.
Yeah, thank you. And then, but he didn't have the green and the burgundy in stock, so I just found it and ordered it for him. But actually, this one was his idea though. He had this fat carbon, in stock with him for other stuff he was making. So this was his recommendation, and so that turned out really nice.
You ought to keep that one, Andrew. I mean, that one looks like is the handle a little bit thicker because of the liner, or is it
a little bit? Yeah, whatever.
I was about to ask, what kind of liner is that?
I think it's just white G10.
I didn't know if it was white or if it was glow.
Glow is what I was wondering.
Okay, yeah, I think it's just white. Yeah.
It looks good though. I really like that.
Yeah, I think it's turned out really nice. Any,
And I
Glass
think
all
with a
through.
half-inch stone, you can sharpen those pretty easily, or use a ceramic rod.
right? Yeah, yeah. It's pretty subtle shape there, but or curve.
I think you call it a sheep's hawk, right?
Yeah, I kind of combined a sheep foot and a hawkbill blade to call it a sheep hawk, but
Because if you lay it on a ruler, it's not very aggressive in terms of the hawk bill.
right, yeah, yeah. It's I don't know if you can see. Yeah, just I don't know if you can see that very good, but
Yep.
the white light in there, but yeah, just enough to be a subtle curve to it. But
How far away are you from Atlanta, approximately? Are you on the other side of the world from Atlanta?
I'm in Iowa, so it's kind of
Pretty good.
You know, yeah, too far to drive, or about it'd be quite a drive, I guess. But
It's just, I know it's a great opportunity, and I guess the Texas show would probably be closer to you.
oh yeah,
I know it's
yeah.
smaller considerably, but I can't imagine the feedback you'd get if you had, 20 knives on a table and people coming by touching them. Because really, to touch and feel them and look at them up close, which I try to get on film, but they are done so well. I mean, they really are executed. Tell David, well done, but the designs are what sets them apart and makes them different than other small fixed blades, which everybody seems to be making now. A lot of the importers, there were a lot of them at Blade Show, but still
Yeah.
designs and who makes them sets them apart. They have more soul, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was trying to kind of bring a little bit of nostalgia to it, or with some kind of traditional looking knives with a in a fixed blade pocketable format. But yeah, it would be awesome if I could get to a blade show sometime. I'm not sure if it'll happen.
Well, you can do it down the road. I mean, it's always something to look, to work up to. And I think you're doing it right now by controlling it with small batches, and getting the name out there, really one knife at a time. Because I can only imagine that you've got a very high percentage of satisfied customers.
Oh yeah, yeah. So far, everyone seems to who bought one seems to like it quite a bit. So that's always.
Let me show you guys the new one that's coming out that we don't have here. And these are, tell me if y'all can see this website.
Yep. What's up?
All right. So that's the new little bulldog. And there's the guard dog. This one's more expensive because it's 3V and carbon fiber.
Right. Yep.
But then if you come down, here is the ranch dog. And I don't think they've settled on this price yet. But that is the profile. And then they've come out with a river dog, which is a totally new design, which is a spear point.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
Which I think is very cool.
Yeah, for the river dog, I got some inspiration from like an old canoe knife, like a
right
slip joint canoe knife, and so that kind of style is what I was going for there.
But to do little fixies that look very traditional, I think is nobody that I've seen is really doing that. And I think it's just a neat go-to-market idea.
Yeah, it seemed like about a year and a half ago or so, maybe when I kind of started thinking about it, it seemed like it was obviously there's some small pocket fixed blades out there, but now it seems like there's a ton of pocket fixed blades out there. Especially this year, it's really kind of exploded.
But that's a good thing. That means that the market is starting to accept them as, a carry option.
Right.
And
yeah.
Yours are set up where they're not mistaken to be anything really but a pocket carry fixed blade, which I think is the best way to carry a small fixie.
Yeah. Obviously they're pretty, on the smaller side, but they're, made to go in your pocket. So it's not, too big to, not really a belt knife, that kind of thing, just a everyday carry for all the things you do every day, but opening packages and food and that kind of stuff. But
well, I was very late to the EDC, the fixed blade game in my knife collecting. And then once I got into it, and started carrying a small fixed blade, I find myself using it so much more than my folder because primarily what I cut are those same three things over and over and over. And to be able just to unsheath a fixed blade, open the cat food or whatever it is, and move on, it's flexible. They work good.
Yeah. I probably bought my first one. Actually, it was this. Okay, here it is. This MKM.
Macro.
Yeah. Right. Yep. That was my first one that I really enjoyed. So
Stevie, that's a great knife. I've got both the Macro 1 and the Macro 2 and the micros because MKM, to me, those Vox Nest designs are so ergonomical.
yeah, actually,
But that looks like a kind of a modern knife where yours look
right.
to me more traditional.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to set mine apart a little bit from.
And the blade geometry on yours is outstanding for cutting.
Yeah. David put a nice, he kept them really thin behind the edge and
crown that spine nicely.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And I was going to tell you that the retention is much better too than the first. The first ones they were really, really tight when I got them. So I actually had to loosen them up a little bit with a heat gun. And then it made a little bit of rattle on them on the first gen, but the second time around, we really, dialed in he really dialed in the retention on them. So they just really pop open, perfectly.
And you get better with that each time. That's why, I don't get mad when I have early generations. So this is the second generation officially of these knives, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And you went into have you been in business a year yet?
Nope. I think let's see, when did I start? It's probably, maybe August or September last year. Yeah, so not quite a year even, but.
Hey, Dwayne.
Really good to be in that far.
Yeah, I think so much of it is partnering with the right people to make the knives, right? And there are different ways to go. I'm sure it wasn't easy. And how did you find David? How did you make that decision from what most people do, which is find an overseas OEM and get them for a lot less? You had to have a method to that.
Well, yeah, I was definitely thinking about that, but yeah, I did want to keep it at least in North America. But I found him on bladeforums.com just by searching and talking to different people on there. That's just where I found him on there. But yeah, I did want to. Yeah, so each one of these is cost me a lot more than it would if I were to go overseas and get them. But I think it's worth it to keep it more local.
I think it is. It shows in the knives. You can tell that even if they're water jetted, that they're not mass produced knives. And I think the water jetting is, I think that's really the only way to go. I think water jetting, if you've got a design, it makes sense than cutting those out by hand.
Right. Yeah.
So I was going to ask you about your heat treat, but you kind of answered that if they go straight to Peters. So Peters is doing all the heat treats.
Right. Yep. Straight from New Jersey Steel Baron, they go to Peters, and then they ship them off to David up in Canada.
And then he just finish grinds them and gets the handle materials on and gets them ready to go to you.
Right. Yep. Actually, I should say that's just for the AEBL ones right now. The 15 and 20 ones. Actually, there's a gentleman in Washington State. That was I think it was plasma cutting those actually. Actually, those are the ones that are the 15 and 20. They're from a used sawmill blade.
So it's reclaimed steel.
Right. Yeah. So I guess they use them for a certain amount of time or something, and they don't resharpen them. They just put a new one in. So but the steel's still perfectly good, of course. So he just he plasma cuts them out of that, and then ships them off to David to finish them. But so those the 15 and 20 are a little bit different process as far as how they get
Andrew, if you're interested, there's a one-stop shop in Alabama that does 15 and 20 that will water jet, heat treat everything in-house right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, company's called Alabama Damascus.
Oh okay, yeah, I've heard of that name before, but
yeah, they work with a lot of carbon steels, and I know 15 and 20 is one of theirs, but they'll actually cut, heat treat, do everything in-house there.
Oh okay, cool. Yeah, I can check them out too.
It's always good to have options.
Yeah.
Or if that other place runs out. I mean, that's why I was thinking.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Is that more of a what you call a vintage steel? Is that kind of why it's desirable?
No, it's a very tough steel. It's one of the few steels that's actually tougher than 14C AEBL Nitro V. It's one of the toughest steels out, and just a good carbon steel.
Yeah, it's kind of not, well, in my experience, not very well known to lots of people. Like, not many people use it. I mean, makers, but from what I've heard from everyone, it's pretty, or a good high quality carbon steel. Just if you want, a nice patina on it and everything.
Yeah,
I guess. Go ahead, Kyle. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just gonna say it's a good price point alternative. It's not the highest edge retention, but it doesn't have to be, because based on the price point, it's more desirable than some other carbon steels that are out there in the same price point.
And I'm assuming, Kyle, it's pretty easy to sharpen and keep maintained.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I got to take a phone call and get back to work. Andrew, it was very nice to meet you. I'll be checking out your website very soon. I need another splicing knife, and I think your bulldog looks like a good one.
Oh yeah, thanks. Nice to meet you too.
All
right, have a great night, buddy, and a great weekend if I don't talk to you.
Yeah, nice to meet you again, Andrew.
Yep, you too.
All right, bud.
See you later.
So, guys, if you want to check those out, the link's at the top, and throw some questions out there for Andrew, because he can answer a bunch. Todd says 15 and 20 see it used in Damascus along with 1084 a bunch.
Yeah, it's a much better steel than 1084, 1085, but it's in that same family of what they used to.
Would it be considered an ingot steel? I guess all tool steels are.
Yeah, I mean it's a basic carbon steel.
Very cool. Yes, you can get AEBL very, very smooth. And I just know what I've seen, not what I've made smooth. I've not made anything smooth.
It's one of the few steels that can take a polish and hold it.
AEBL?
Yes. Well, that whole family, AEBL, 14C Nitro V.
You see Ant's comment?
I see him.
So, Andrew, how many of each do you think you have in stock? You've got, looks like 3 bulldogs and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe guard dogs.
I think I have a few more. Yeah, I have a few more here. I just haven't put the pocket clips and lanyards on them yet.
I got you.
But there's probably 4 more.
You got several there.
Yeah. There's about 20 or so total here, probably, of various handle materials and things. But
Sweet, Richard. Yeah, these are some of my favorites. I was excited when you said you were doing another run and bringing a couple of designs in. How'd you come across those other designs? Were those just things that you had already drawn before? You just hadn't brought them into production, or were they new concepts?
They're pretty new concepts, I guess. I was trying to kind of get a variety of different blade shapes, really, and I'm right now I'm keeping everything kind of small packages, of course, but you know, between the spade blade here and the kind of the sheep's foot blade here, I wanted something a little bit more, just a different blade design, basically. So
Very traditional looking to me. They look timeless.
Yeah, that's kind of that was kind of my goal, is to make them look, kind of like an old knife that's just kind of brought back again. But so like that River Dog is going to be more of a spear point blade.
Right.
Yeah. Then I wanted to have one like this Bulldog, more of a kind of utility blade shape, just for more everyday task type stuff. But
it works so well. I mean, on cardboard and the things that I cut, it is such a great knife.
Yeah, that one really snaps in there too.
Yeah, I mean, the retention is great. The sheath material is great. I'd like to hear from David what he uses to do his sheaths. I wonder if he's heating that up in an oven or if he's using a t-shirt press. I've heard several different tactics how people do that in the business.
Yeah. I'm not sure how he does it.
It's tricky for new knife makers to get a good sheath. That takes a little time and process. Get the right process that you can repeat.
Right. Yeah. I'm not sure exactly how he forms the sheath here, but he did a nice job, though.
Maybe next year you can come out with a little straight edge Warncliffe.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, or maybe something like that, or even like some sort of clip point type style. I was kind of thinking like that. That'd be even more kind of traditional looking, but
very true.
Yeah. I gotta kind of see how these do and see what's in the works for next year. But
I can't imagine these not doing very well. I mean, when people discover them, it's hard for makers, especially small makers, to market their stuff just because you're restricted by Google and things like that. But
right, yeah.
How many do you reckon you have out in the public? Would you say 30, 40, more than that, less than that?
No, probably about 30 now.
30?
Yeah, not a whole lot, of course, but I've had a few there's a few people that bought them in Europe too. So they kind of, because coming from Switzerland and Germany and maybe Spain has bought some. So,
well, I'll tell you something I learned from Igor, who used to work at MKM Knives. Now he owns Straight Line Knives. He started Straight Line EDC.
Yeah.
And he says that Europe, they're great knives.
Yeah.
Is that the Alley?
Yep. Yeah, I had to get this one.
I got the Ernie.
Yep.
With the reverse Tonto. But he says over in Europe, that size in a fixed blade is not only legal, but they're very desirable.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that could be a very nice emerging market for you. Plus the US, I think everybody is starting to find a place for a small fixed blade.
Because 5 years ago I didn't really have any of these, or interest in or knowledge about small fixed blades for everyday carry use. But now I, find myself having one all the time. But they're pretty nice to have on you all the time.
Right, but I think the first fixed blade that I ever bought as a knife collector was an SE3, kind of as a camp knife.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I discovered my small lefty EDC was shilling a chickadee for Jacob at Jacob Creates, and ended up buying it off of him. And now I've got probably more small fixed blades than I do folders.
Yeah,
I just love them.
Yeah, they kind of addicting. And once you get started, all the different shapes and everything,
and the functionality. I mean, I think they're just very functional little tools.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey guys, throw out some questions for Mr. Kidd from Lucky Dog Knives if y'all have any.
I've got one for you, Andrew.
Yep.
What's the background or the motto behind Lucky Dog?
Oh, well, I guess I was trying to I wanted some knives that weren't really tactical oriented. So it's trying to have a little more, kind of fun with it because there's so many. Well, I'm not really a tactical person anyway, so and I was trying to, design some stuff more traditional looking and that kind of thing. So I have a dog named Finn. He's a Wheaten Terrier, and it's an Irish breed. So I
that's Finn on the sticker, right?
Yep, it's on the sticker. Yeah, on the back of the box too. But so I just kind of connected, with Lucky in Ireland because he's an Irish breed, and just kind of thought it was kind of a fun take for a knife brand.
Cool.
So yeah, I just want something not, obviously there's many tactical kind of designs and brands out there already, so I didn't want to try to be like that type of thing, but kind of have a little more fun with it and
more of a lifestyle brand, kind of.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And very usable designs.
Yeah, it's more functional, everyday carry type stuff. But
hey, Gareth from South Africa, how are you, buddy? Gareth's across the pond. Gareth, this is Andrew Kidd, Lucky Dog Knife Company. Let me make his knives big so you can look at them.
What's up, Gareth?
Good to see you, brother. So do you just follow Peter's heat treat protocol for the different steels you send up there? Or do you guys set a HRC that you want to try to achieve? Or I know they're different knives.
I guess I kind of really, look toward David and his kind of expertise in that, but
sure.
I can't remember.
I don't need a number. I was just curious. If Peters is doing them for the size knives that they are, it's not something that concerns me.
Yeah, I can't remember what they are off the top of my head, actually, but like I don't want to say something.
Maybe on the little card. I took those off without tearing them, so I can get them back on.
Oh.
What do they usually treat AEBL at?
Well, there's a difference between custom and what you're going to get in a production knife.
Well, Peters is what we're thinking here.
Well,
right.
Yeah, but Peters has different things, protocols. I mean, they typically run certain things for production at certain values, and if a custom wants something done, then they potentially will do it, but not necessarily. Like a production knife that comes out of overseas, your AEBL is going to be 57 to 59. You may hit 60 on some, but not much. In the custom world, you're getting AEBL 14C Nitro V up to the 62, 63s.
Yeah, I was thinking like 61 to 63 type range, but I can't remember if that's accurate or not. But yeah, I think it's 60 something. I know. But
yeah, I would say if I had to guess, I would say Peters is probably doing 60 to 61 is probably their standard, or 61, 62.
Yeah,
I don't see them going, because to go above 62, that's almost a small batch. You really got to be paying close attention to it.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
And they're doing it much more mass produced. So I would probably venture to say more like 60 to 61, which isn't bad because AEBL's got a wide range. That's going to give it a little less edge retention, but it's going to be a little bit tougher. So at 60 to 61. So
yeah. I think that sounds about right to me too.
I'm trying to learn about steels, Andrew, but my brain can't get through one chapter and absorb it before I get to the next. I'm trying to read Lennon's book just to get more knowledgeable. Not that I want to be a metallurgist, but just to understand some of this stuff more.
I always forget which one's 420, which one's 440, Paul. But yeah, one of them's 420 and one's 440. They just rebranded them. That's all.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea. I thought those were older seals. Are the 440s not the steels that used to be on pocket knives on bucks?
You're thinking like 440 high carbon, like HCs and
HC, yeah.
We're talking 440 VN, which is like the it's a much
version.
It's a much different steel. So, but it's been around for S60 and S90 has been around for a long time.
I wonder when we're going to see. I guess there's probably plenty of steel in stock. I don't know if Shane asked at the show when he met with Niagara before we see some of these steels change names or be less popular names than what we're used to.
Todd, yeah, but that's in-house treat. So that's, well, partially, not necessarily. They don't do everything there. But
is that Big Bear, BBB? Is that the one that did their
that's Sean. Yeah, that's Sean. But Spyderco's a little different animal than most production companies.
I reviewed a nice Spyderco today, buddy. I think the favorite Spider. Ooh, be shady. Don't tease me. 4V. Is that like 3V, but just better?
One more V.
One more V. It makes sense. To me, it does at least. My chickadees, I've got one in S20, one in S90 that's a full flat, and then one in MagnaCut that Kyle sharpened that's sharp as shit. Scary sharp. Exactly, Sierra. I learned more from those guys than I do from a book. But the knife I reviewed today that I've never messed with was the Swiss Bowie. Have you played with one of those?
Yep.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
I mean, in the fit and finish.
Funny for what they are, but yeah.
It's a frame lock.
Yeah. Todd, that is probably the best thing going on in the knife industry right now is them using the mules as what they're designed for to be, a mule for testing and checking out different steels and different heat treats. And it's absolutely phenomenal that they do that for people.
Hey, did you see him, Scotty? Gareth's been a member for 3 months. Gareth, thank you, brother. I'm going to give you a Rocky man hug. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate the support, dude. I've never seen S60V, Paul. So yeah, I would think that's, unless I'm just not looking for it, it's not offered on a lot of knives that I see.
It's more done in customs than anything else.
Like who would use it custom wise? I usually see
different things. Like, I mean, custom fixies are made in it, custom folders are made in it. It just depends on what someone wants. But I was going to ask Andrew, or compliment Andrew on, was I like the option of doing AEBL for a lower price point. Not to say that 3V isn't good, because it's a very good steel.
Yeah.
But having AEBL, which is highly underrated, for a better price point as a different option for people is awesome.
Yeah. I was trying to, just have them a little more attainable price range, because I mean, personally, I've never even purchased a knife over $200, so I was trying to kind of get more in my price range that I would kind of more working man, style.
Yeah, absolutely.
Knife. So yeah, I thought the AEBL was a good choice in that regard, just to kind of bring the price down a little bit to have it a little more attainable for more people. But
absolutely,
still a good quality steel, so I thought it made sense. Yeah,
we've talked about on the channel a lot. It's a mid-tier steel at a budget price point as far as purchasing it. So it outperforms its cost significantly. So that's why it's such a great option for a lot of knives, is because you can get better bang for your buck out of it.
Right. Yeah. I've been pretty happy with. I have a couple in that steel. I think I have some other ones that David has sent me actually. That have been pretty good so far. So yeah, I like it.
And I noticed on your pull downs on the site, you're offering the carbon. Is that going to be the same price point, I would guess, as the AEBL? It just depends on the steel, or is it going to be more?
No, it won't be any more for sure. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same price. I haven't. It should be the same price. I haven't completely nailed that down yet, because I haven't You know?
Right. Right. You hadn't run the numbers and looked at it.
Yeah. But no, it won't be any more for sure.
But you said plasma cut instead of water jet. I guess that's a different process because the steel is a different makeup, or
No, I think that's just what
they use.
Yeah, it's just a different way to do it, I guess. Yeah, I think it's just what he had available or what he uses, a plasma cutter. So it's a little rougher to for David to grind down and everything, but it's just not as clean cut type of thing. But it still cuts it, of course, but just a different way to do it.
Yeah,
Colin, how does the pricing stand up on those two? Like, if you were
plasma cutting is the roughest option for cutout, but it's the most economical. Then it goes to water jetting. It gets a little bit more accurate, a little bit cleaner, but it costs a little bit more. And then you go to wire EDM, which is damn near just barely grind it and finish it, and you're good. But it's also highly expensive. So those
do
are.
we know do we know what SPK uses? What Alex uses to cut his out?
Well, he's using CNC.
But isn't a CNC going to be water jetted and that controlled too?
Yeah,
I mean, I know he's using a mill. He's actually using mill bits to cut those out.
I believe so, but I'm not 100% certain. I don't know if he's actually getting them done in sheets and just getting them water jet and then taking them to the mill, or how he's doing that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I know a lot of his stuff is done by his CNC. So
right.
I don't know how he sets up his grinding process, but I do. I mean, as far as I know, like wire EDM. Last time I talked to Brian about it, it was like something. It was pretty high. It was like $42 a blade to wire EDM, when he was getting water jet for like $10 or $12 a blade. So it's significantly higher, but it depends on, I guess, what you're willing to pay for your time.
But either option, and tell me where I'm wrong, it seems like a better option in cost savings and in consistency than trying to cut them all out by hand.
Yeah, and also your consumables as well too. So
correct, because you're basically getting the cost of those consumables and the cost of the labor by whoever does it for you.
Right. So I mean, if you're spending 45 minutes a knife to cut and shape, getting down close, with everything, and you can get that done for $12 a knife, that's, if you value your time at more than $18 an hour, then you're paying yourself off. It's worth it. So,
and I would think from a non-knife maker to have a stack of blanks to work off of would give me a more consistent. And even though each of these are different, I mean, when you look at them, like the sharpening choils are slightly different. There's a handmade nature to each one of them.
Sure, but your overall size is going to be consistent.
Correct. And it seems like if you worked off of templates, you could have one that was more consistent. I wonder if Very Good Knife Company water jets his. For some reason, I think he cuts his out by hand on a bandsaw. But I just can't imagine why you would if you were trying to get more done. It just seems like a no-brainer to partner with someone who can cut them out some way, because you'd save material nesting them and you'd have a more consistent product to start with.
I think it would depend upon what tools you already have in your shop.
Good
if you're
point.
if you're having to buy all those tools, then yeah, it's definitely not worth it. But if you already had a nice shop set up with all those tools, then it may make it less of a hassle to do it.
What's the main? Is it a saw that you're mainly using to cut out your blanks? I don't know.
I mean, it depends on the quality of your tool. If you got a good bandsaw, you can get most of it done on that.
Would that be ideal? I mean, is like a nice bandsaw if you were doing the wish? I mean, for a small shop, or are there router tables that do something similar?
You can do all kinds of stuff. You can do it with a bandsaw and then get it close to the line, and then take it to with a template and take it to a router table and flush trim it. There's a lot of different, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. But I mean, a decent bandsaw like that we're talking about is going to be several $1,000s. I mean, it's not going to be just a one you put on top of your desk.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's full size standing bandsaw. And then I'm sure your blades are going to be different than and more expensive.
Yep.
What do we got over here in our heat treat conversation? It's a print from Peters for each knife spin. I think it's usually around 61. That sounds about right. Yeah, that's right. Scott uses some AEBL.
Yeah, he started doing that with Peters.
Andrew, are you familiar with Aries EDC?
No, I'm not. No.
He's a newer knife maker. I'll send you a link to his Instagram. He does some pretty cool stuff. I think out of Florida. I could be wrong. Not to dox him, but he's making some nice little knives.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'll check him out.
Right there. Top or Mills. Shane's Nitro V is at 63.5. If that, not many people are doing that or above that. That's for sure. So he's pushing the envelopes. I mean, you can go a little bit higher, but not by much. And so that's probably going to be the cream of the crop as far as getting your Nitro V, AEBL, and 14C.
So if you go a little high, are you just losing your increased strength, or are you ruining the steel at that point?
You're losing toughness, and it gets to a point where the drop off becomes so significant it's not worth the edge retention. So that's kind of you're battling two things there. But there is a curve of trying to get the most out of your edge retention without losing too much of the toughness, because it's not necessarily linear as far as the HRC.
Right. Drinkwater says chips.
That's a potential of it, yeah.
Yeah, Andrew, if you ever need any professional sharpening done, Kyle's company is Klingenwek Sharpening, and that's what he does. He does a lot of sharpening for different knife makers and knife collectors around the country.
Okay, yeah.
That's around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to use him. I'm not the best at sharpening myself.
I'll send you a link to his Instagram as well. He's not too far from you.
Oh, okay. What state is he at? Are you in?
I'm in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, we're still pretty far away, but
yeah. Yeah. Well, some people think Ohio and Iowa are the same thing, so
I'm about as far away from you as Javon is from me.
Yeah.
Actually, further. You're probably close to 12 hours from me by car.
Yeah.
Yeah, but shipping a few blades wouldn't be that bad.
Oh, no. I thought you were talking about like close as in like just right around.
No, close is in. Well, that's not really close, is it? 12 hours I can get to Chicago.
Right.
Yeah.
Grain growth really becomes a problem at higher HRC above 64, 65 on them. Todd said that makes sense, that you're going to change the structure.
Yeah, and that's what you start losing your toughness and the integrity of the knife. So that's why you got to follow that kind of where those 2 points meet as far as the drop off. What's more important? Dawson, that's true. What's up, Arshare?
Andrew, you got anything to share with these people that I haven't pulled out of you? Because I might have not asked something that I know could be.
Oh, not that I can think of. No. Just I guess I'll have some more. Some more ranch dogs and river dogs and the 15 and 20, maybe a month or so away. But it's kind of hard to tell exactly. But
well, let me know when you do, and you can come back on and show them, because I think the people that watch the channel know that I've kind of gone off the deep end into small fixed blades. I love them, and it's because I use them so much. And I keep my fixed blade in my back right pocket. That's just where I carry it. and it works well there. And I think it's cool the fact that you went to market differently than 99% of the people that design knives do. You do it professionally because you're a graphic designer. So I'm sure you could come to David with really specific drawings. You can see that on your website when you look through. You've got your schematic there.
Oh, right. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I would sketch them out first, then I draw it in Illustrator, so I have specific.
So for him, he can basically make a template and cut it out. So your designs are staying true and they're not being, I hate to use the word bastardized by an overseas manufacturer who's trying to make it work into what their capabilities are. So
Yeah.
I think that sets you apart in keeping it in North America. Go ahead, buddy.
I got to step out for a moment. I'll be back in a bit.
Go ahead, dude. We'll be here till Stevie.
I know, but I was just going to say, if I'm not back before Andrew takes off, then Andrew, good talking with you, and best of luck.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, thanks a lot. Nice talking to you too.
I'm going to make you big again, Andrew, so people can look at the knives.
Yeah, so I would just send a PDF to David, and he makes a CAD file out of it, and then sends that to New Jersey Steel Baron for the water jet cutting, and then they can just use the precise drawing.
Feed it into their machine and have it done.
Right. Yep. So it's exactly how I drew it out the first time.
B Shady, I wish y'all could post pictures. It makes me a little nervous. You can post links and I can pull them up. Or if you have it on Instagram, if you got a picture, you can send it to me to my Instagram and I can pull it up. I do a lot of that. But I was going to show you guys these little sketches real quick. I'm going to go back to Lucky Dog's website, which is pinned at the top. But if we look at any of these knives, you come to a schematic like that. Now that's just your basic 2D drawing, right? Is that what you?
Yep. That's just my Illustrator drawing of the profile of the knife I drew out.
And that little finger doobly-doo up front is great.
Oh yeah. I can't remember where I've seen some similar things in other knives. I thought it was a nice little detail to add to them. Yeah, it might be. I might wish it was a little bit more pronounced on these, but I think after he crowns the spine and everything, it kind of smooths it out a little bit. But I think it still works pretty well. But
I bounced myself accidentally.
Oh.
I was trying to share this other drawing. I'm sorry, dude, but you kept talking through it. You ran it like a champ. You probably didn't see me gone. I was trying to go over here and show again on this Bulldog. What I love about these is the handle is neutral, but the jimping is so aggressive that it really locks your finger in, or at least it does for me. And you can really see it there, even though that's a small 2.8-inch handle with a lanyard, overall 4.8, but the jimping keeps your finger or your hand from sliding up. Again, I wouldn't want to try to poke it through a car door,
right?
But it's a great cutter, a fantastic little design.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Yeah. The jimping is really nice too. Like I said, it's sharp, but it's not obviously too
no,
sharp.
It's not. When I say aggressive, it doesn't cut, but it holds your thumb in place.
Right. Yeah. You have to kind of feel it to know to feel it, or just to experience it. But yeah, it definitely keeps your thumb in the spot it should be.
And you've also got it in the guard dog as well. You've got the jimping for your thumb, and then you've got the finger depression. Well, you got jimping on one, not on this one. That's 3V.
Right. Yeah. The 3V one does not have jimping on it. But all the AEBL ones do. I added jimping for the thumb area now.
And then you've got that little kind of, I call it pelican bill up at the front that just cradles your finger for detail cuts if you're doing detail cuts.
Yeah.
Hey, Ouchie.
Nice drag cut or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, or like David said, if you're pruning plants or something like that, it's great for that kind of work.
Yep. Yep.
Make you big again. So you got anything to share with these guys, buddy? Todd, or any of you guys, Be Shady, have any questions for Andrew about these little Lucky Dog knives? And you don't have a space between the guard and the dog and the ranch and the dog. That's all one word, right?
Oh,
Bulldog.
yeah. Yeah. It kind of comes down from back from my, kind of design and marketing background. I kind of made it its own term there, one word.
I got you, but Lucky Dog's 2 words.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
Is he close to you or is he sleeping somewhere else?
Oh, I think he's right here somewhere, actually. Let me see. I think. Yeah, he's
Don't
laying.
wake him up.
Yeah, he's laying in the corner right now. He's always nearby me though. But
Cool name, a really great concept, Andrew. I mean, I think the way you're doing it again is too cool. I'm committed to have more people know about your knives.
yeah, thanks for having me on here. I'm obviously pretty small right now, so it's great that you offered me to come on your channel and everything.
You're small only in the size of number of knives you're selling right now. And those are some of the best makers that I've met. So know that you're welcome to come on when your next batch comes in to show them off. The carbon steels, to talk about that. I always look for, my channel's a little different, that I don't respond to everybody that wants to have me review knives, to check out this knife or that knife. I will with certain companies, but usually it's just companies that I seek out that I would buy. And I've bought your knives before and I know they're well worth it.
Yeah, thanks.
Todd says, Andrew, what's the largest handle you do? And right.
Well, it's probably one of these two right now. Yeah.
And that's going to come in at 3.3 inches.
Right. Yeah. So it's still pretty small, but it's for my, it's pretty average size hands. It's right on the, I get four fingers on it still. So.
Andrew, do you have the flexibility if somebody wanted a custom knife from you and David to get one with larger handle, for example, or a larger version? Or are you not trying to cross that bridge yet?
Probably not at this moment. I guess if they did want to, I mean, David might. He's a little more into that kind of more customization type stuff, but I don't. Yeah, it's really not my strong point right now, I guess. But.
Todd, if you're interested, buddy, if you need something bigger, reach out to me and I'll put you in touch with David, who makes these knives. I know he's like the River Dog that he did for, I can't remember that knife maker's name. It had River in the name of the knife company, the store.
Yeah, I can't remember the name either.
But David did a custom knife for him that's more aggressive, a little bit more aggressive hawk build. That's a longer knife.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I didn't realize he made that.
Looks totally different, dude. It's night and day from your knife.
Well, yeah, it's kind of, but it's similar. I mean, as far as the blade profile and everything, but yeah, it's much bigger and
more Warncliffy,
yeah,
and longer. And I think yours, to me, what attracts me to yours is I'm a pocket dropper guy, and your dives were designed specifically, it seems to me, to be put in your pocket.
Yes,
I think that's what makes them cool. They're small. I like a 6-7 inch knife for certain cases too. I usually carry that as a primary, but if I'm carrying a fixed blade, which is my normal carry, as an enhancement to my folder, even though I'll pull my fixie out more than my folder, it's going to be smaller.
Right.
It's going to be that 6 inches or lower size. So I think that's where you've hit a kind of a unique sweet spot that I hope the market reacts to. And I can tell you, if what I saw at Blade Show is any indication, all of the usual suspects have come out with sub 6 inch knives.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that lately too. So yeah, it's good. It's people are realizing it's a good, everyday carry size and everything, and
it's just going to bring more people into the market, and not everybody is going to want a. For example, this is a tenable, which is concept knives budget line, like Civivi is to we, and everyone had small fixed blades like this.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen a lot similar.
So if they're reacting to it, it doesn't look like yours, but the sizing and the fact that they mount it with a little in-pocket clip, there's there must be a larger demand than even we realize if they're tooling up to do stuff like that.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
think that's just a good thing. I think it's just now a matter of having people share your Instagram posts. Guys, I'm going to drop an Instagram link in here. If y'all get a chance, go give Andrew a follow. Let me pull it up real quick. So if you follow Andrew, you'll be able to keep up with what he's up to when knives come in. You communicate a lot on there. And then you'll see some posts that I always like to share in my stories. Again, just to help a small brand get seen. Because they are really, really cool knives.
Yeah.
I think they're unique and they're very functional.
Yeah.
I've never had to sharpen my 3V wrench dog yet.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've had mine for, same amount of time as you had yours. And I think I touched it up a little bit on a strap or something, but I definitely haven't had to resharpen it by any means.
Well, they're just so thin. I mean, I don't know. We gave you that dimension, but I'm not good with dimensions, but they're full flats.
Right. Yep.
And they're just little cutters in different shapes. I'm a big fan, Andrew.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on here.
Anytime, buddy. And I say that sincerely. So all you need to do is let me know. You've got my number. Just text me and say, hey, man, I got these in from David, and we'll set up a time for you to come on and share them, show them off.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I look forward to it. I'll definitely be back.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Hey, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to make one more video and I'll get these out to you Monday.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
All right, buddy.
All right. Well, have a good night.
You too, Andrew.
All right. See you later.
See you later. Hey, if you're up, go to Said Faction in about 45 minutes. That's a great knife live stream. If you want to see a bunch of guys with sixth grade humor, it's hilarious.
Oh. All right. Yeah, I'll check that out too.
All right, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, man.
Yep. See you later.
Thanks, B. Shady, for thanking Andrew. They're thanking you for your time, buddy.
Yeah, thank you guys too.
Mine doesn't have a forward choil, Paul. My first one doesn't. It's one of Shane's first joke wolves. He didn't want me to have it because it was the second, but I wanted to have one of his early knives, one of his first ones. See, everybody's saying thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Have a good night.
I'm going to pull up his knives real quick. The website's really good, guys. He's also got merch. He's got, so you've got, whoops, I jacked that up. So you've got, close this out. You go here to shop. And all he's got is pocket fixed blades, apparel, accessories. That's the dog that's on his stickers and in his house that he was talking about earlier. But they've got some cool merch. Different shirts. They've got a shop tee with just the lucky dog emblem. But again, a small company. I met Andrew last year. He reached out to me and I was really interested when I saw his knives. And then David Mary came on one night. He made, I don't know where that knife is. Yeah, I won't be able to get to it. But he makes knives for a couple of different people in the States. And, Canadian. I think that's really cool. Really good guy. And then again, I never thought I would be crazy about pink polymer handles, but if you guys have a Vision FG, these solid handles are fantastic. They feel good. I've still got my G10 handles. And if you watch this assembly video, this installation video, you will see that I am the GOAT because I pushed that pivot through and then pushed it out with my Benchmade tool, threw my scale on, and was able to push that pivot back in. It was like a 3-minute scale swap. I looked like a freaking ninja. They also make these in aluminum scales, and they also make them in titanium. But Original Goats changed up their game. It's just the husband and the wife now, and they're doing some collaboration with Way of Knife.
Hey, bud, I'm back.
Hey, buddy. Andrew split, but he told me to tell you bye, and he appreciates it. I think everybody thought it was cool having him stop by. I told him when his other ones come in from David, the carbon steel and the other blade shapes, just to call me and he can come back on and show them off. Did you see my Vision FG scales?
No.
They're pink, dude.
They look orange.
Yeah, they look orange because of the black light, but they're actually pink polymer. They've got a really wicked pattern. Same ones as the aluminum. These are Original Goats.
Oh. Yeah, I don't have any love lost there.
No, well, that's what I was saying. When I went to their booth, Kathy had me those because she wanted me. I was one of their OGs. I bought at Blade Show 3 years ago some titanium scales from them. They got kind of big and had some people working there. Now it's just the husband and wife. And Shane would not let me bring up his situation because I know they'd give him the scales. I mean, it's just the husband and the wife now. The wife does all the customer service and the husband runs the mill. They've scaled back on the people that they had there because they realized they were having some issues. So I'm going to give them a chance. I mean, again, I'm a big AWT fan. I think those are some of the, and rock scale designs are awesome.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you who else is making some nice ones is I put some on Ryan's Benchmade yesterday. There's a video up on it. It's a company called 17 EDC that Get Good Screw bought. Or Get Good Screw offers like Hinderer scales, Sabenza scales, Bug Out scales, Demco scales, and they're very nice.
Are those Singapore?
Huh?
Are those Singapore? Isn't Good Screw in Singapore?
I know they're China
or Hong Kong.
Let me see. Hold on.
I thought they were. I didn't know that they were China.
I can't remember. Let's see if it says on here. But when you look at these scales, these are much more fancy scales than you see normally. Let me pull this up and share it.
Yeah, I know what scales you're talking about. I've seen the scales. I just didn't know where they were produced at.
Well, 17 EDC is a little different. Let's see. I don't know if they're necessarily in the same place. But they do Hinderers. Look at these. 129 for titanium hinder. Let's go to frequency. Let's shipping and returns. Maybe that'll have it. Hong Kong. They ship globally from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So what's the story with Hong Kong? Is Hong Kong like China, or is it more like Taiwan, or something in between? Night, Sierra Rick. Have a great weekend, buddy. Is Hong Kong similar to China?
Hit and miss. I was supposed to show this off to Paul Mills. Paul. There's the scale that I was talking about. And then the couple little dings I was talking about. There's one little one right there. And then a tiny little part of the paint's not there. It's not really a ding. It's just the paint on the aluminum.
Dude, is that a Mordax?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that? Is that a ProTech or is that the old drop?
Yeah, this is the one from Drop. It's still a ProTech, but this is the one.
Yeah. But I've never seen that scale pattern before. Those aftermarket?
No, these are ones that came on. And then it's got a couple little small, if you can see it up by the blade, there's a couple little small scratches. And it's not bad, but they're there. So I just wanted to be fully transparent on that. Yeah, these scales are pretty awesome. They're deep milling too. I don't know if you can see how deep that is.
Yeah, it's very deep.
Yeah, they're very, very grippy. So.
Yeah, I love the old drop ones. Those R6 scales are sheer. I really like that TR3 manual with the thumb studs. I picked up one of those from Knives and More and reviewed it and took it back up to them. That's what I get to do on Saturday afternoons is run up to my local knife store and pick up 2 or 3 knives.
I'll take some pictures.
But Kate, one of the owners, hung out with us at Blade Show. His buddy, who he went over with, went to some heavy metal show Saturday night. So he ran around with us and showed us some really cool old Spydercos. He and Justin, I put them together talking Spydercos. That got boring quick. I know what I need to look at.
Oh, burnt relic. Before you take off, I got something to show you.
Burnt relic? Shane was right.
No, I don't. Never mind. What's that?
Shane was right. I've got one of Justin's knives. I thought it was just 16. I didn't think it had a V on there, but it does.
Yeah, that's a Collector's Club number, 16V.
Yeah, that's his number. And this is in your least favorite steel, CTX XHP.
It's my least favorite steel. It's just not one of my favorites. That's the cutlery shop.
Lucky Dog, thank you, buddy. Thank you so much. And these guys will reach out to you. I'm going to share your social again, and your website is in the description, buddy. Thanks for taking the time, Andrew.
What's Shane right about?
That was a question mark where Arshear's going, Shane's right about things. He is. He drops some wisdom bombs from time to time. I'll give him that. And he was right about his decision to refine his knives before breaking them out. And I was on the other side of the fence. I was trying to make them go away, but that was just a salesman in me. And to me, they were fine knives because it was the first time I'd seen his knives in person. Granted, I could see because he pointed out to me the things that bothered him, and I was like, I agree. And if that bothers you, it's your choice. But they are so good.
Here's a pair of, so this is that giveaway knife for Dragoon, but his those honeycomb scales he was doing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep, you're not under the camera. I don't know if you're trying to be.
No, not yet.
I thought you were making shadow animals.
I was trying to give an explanation. So this is the honeycomb that he did, that purple that I ended up hand sanding and polishing. It turned out pretty freaking awesome.
They all need that. That looks so different when you do that. I mean, you're just using, how many grits are you going through?
4, 5.
And that's taking you in real time, serious time, isn't it? A few hours?
No, this stuff really works easily. I got that done in probably 30, 40 minutes.
For each knife?
Yeah.
And which one is that called? Is that called the
That's one of his homesteads.
Homestead, that's right.
Yeah, I go 120, 180, 240, 400, 800 on that one. So that's 5. And then
it looks so much more organic.
6 technically, because then I hit it with a 3M polishing sheet, which is like 9 micron.
Very nice. What else do you work on there? Kathleen, I agree. In person, they look great too.
I agree, Kathleen. They turned out like they look cool when they're like just pictures of them, but when you actually get them sanded down, they look phenomenal. that is one of the cooler ones that he's done. And I really like that color combo too. The purple and the teal.
And the blue, is that like a Tiffany blue pen?
Yeah, like a teal blue, Tiffany blue.
Oh, that's a wicked blade too, just a tall flat. Which one's that made out of? Do you remember?
This one's Nitro V, I'm pretty sure.
And the Thug just flipped me out because it just fits in your hand so well. And Terry, the fret's still coming to you. Shane just wanted to take it back and do a little more stuff on it. One of the things he was talking about, Shane, to a lot of people and getting some advice on was his sharpening choil. That's where he was getting some feedback and ways to fix it, do it differently.
I completely agree.
And they were giving him some good tips on ways to do it with a drill. I didn't really understand, but it sounds like just drill half of it out.
Yeah, using the drill bit as a point to create the circle, half circle.
Yeah, I don't understand it enough, but he seemed to understand it. And like I said, he got so much positive feedback and information, and the fact that, hey, if you have a question, call me when you're doing this.
Yeah,
I will take your call. Have you heard of Grip Tech?
Yeah,
dude. That's going to be a game changer unless it just starts to fall apart. I saw so much there, and today on Jacob's video, he picked up a bunch at the show. But this is Grip Tech, and it has just got a totally different feel to it.
I really, Shane missed the booth, but I really wanted him to go by Current Composites because they've got a new material out that looks pretty awesome. It's
What is it called?
Current Composites. It's a they got a burl out that's all synthetic, but it looks cool as all get out.
US made laminates and composites.
Yeah. If you go to their new section, or I think it's products new or new area that says shows the burl stuff. It's really, really cool looking.
Materials.
Todd, he's got let me pull up the website. I forget what it looks like, the website. Todd, yes. He's got at least 2 sticks of it in.
Yeah, I can't see anything that says new. I'm gonna pull it up and share it. Knife handles, let's go there. G10, Liberty Wood. Interesting. Paper micarta, linen micarta, canvas micarta, G11.
There, the Liberty Wood's cool stuff, but that's not what I was talking about. Let me see if I can find it.
Either FR4, Liberty Wood, G11. I'm going to stop sharing and let you share it when you find it.
Yeah, just give me a second.
Take your time, dude. What new patterns are available?
Oh, there, the top right. What's new?
Yeah, I just went to what's new too. Oh, let's see if it pulls up.
Well, the website's not.
It takes a while. Is that it right there?
Spinning. The canvas. No, not the canvas, but the. Find it. The phenolic linen burl down at the very bottom of the. Keep going there.
Ah, that looks like granite.
That stuff's cool looking. I really like the look of that.
That is very pretty. That looks very unique. All of these look very unique, though. G10 burl.
Yeah, the G10 looks cheap to me, and the rag looks okay there, but when you shape it, it looks funky. I don't like the way it looks.
in Liberty Wood. What's your thought on that?
It's okay. But that stood out to me.
I wonder what phenolinic means or phenolic means.
It's the resin base that it's in.
Oh.
So it's like a lemon micarta in a resin base.
I wonder how this stuff stacks up price point wise. Pretty close to some of the others.
I don't know. That's why I was wanting him to go by to check it out, see if they had any there or samples there.
I don't remember seeing that booth, but I was really proud of Shane for not looking at handles. I thought you would have.
Yeah, I know, but I told him to go there, but
he didn't.
What's up, Space Cuz? What's up, Joda?
What's up, Joe? I miss Joe. He was at Metallica. I came by Thursday night, I think about 20 minutes after they left. So I did not get to see JoJo, Master Joda. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Because so much of it, I'm sure, is how it's finished. I'm sure different people could finish it to different slicknesses.
That's kind of why I wanted him to see it in person, see what it looked like, and then if they could get a piece or two for samples.
He does have some pro cut in.
Yeah, he's got at least 2 sticks of it in.
I know Scuba Steve's been talking it up. He's been doing some tests on it.
So did Big Brown Bear. Sean posted a video. He was running it at like 66 and something, and he was cutting through a tequila bottle.
So it'll cut. That's unbelievable. And it's just an old school steel, right?
It's something that it's something that's been created and reformulated specifically for pops.
Very cool. It's good to see stuff still evolving. I mean, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of changes in the next 5 years. Just with all the manufacturing shifting.
Well, it's also what happens when you get some passionate people about steel and they're willing to, that are knife makers and heat treaters, are willing to test and develop and figure things out.
And I think that's a big advantage that some of these boutique makers have. You know, they can do that. And I think it sets them apart. I know people were clamoring over Edgy's knives because of the heat treats and the way that the geometry set up. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind he could have sold all those thugs. Kind of like a better 1095. That could be right. 1931. I just don't know enough about the different steels.
Yeah, it was designed to be a better option to use in Damascus. Yeah, there you go, Dawson. But on its own, it's stands out as well too. It's a good basic carbon steel.
Yeah,
but, I mean, it's not going to be like it's not your high end carbon steels like your Rex 76 or Rex 121. It's not that, but as far as edge retention, but it's designed to be a more robust.
What's up, Half Empty?
Yeah, Terry, because Pops was big on, they had 1095, and they also ran something else out at their shop that was kind of one of their deals, and they worked with Laren and Steve and Sean to create Pro Cut. What's up, Half Empty?
Sweet, Terry. Your XL
cool.
Green is going to be in Pro Cut. That will be very cool. Hopefully Shane's asleep.
He should be. That XL Goon is awesome.
Did y'all see the XL Thug that?
Yeah. Well, I did.
I know you did. I'm gonna pull it up because the picture I like is the one where it's on the table as a blank next to the other thugs. And that went to
Derek
for real, right?
Yep.
Find this picture.
Derek was here earlier.
Yeah, he was in and out, I think. He just came by to say howdy. Here it is. Share this. So this is a Thug XL. Thug XL on the right. Thugs.
Yeah, it's mammoth. It's just under 12 inches overall.
That's so sick. That's the fret. There's the flat ground Thugs, and that's one of Yako's designs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he posted a picture of that today after his acid wash.
Yeah, what'd you think about that? I like the acid etching or acid washing.
I like it on that. I like it on that blade. There it is. I'm not a fan of acid wash in general, but that turned out good.
It looks very consistent. Is that because of the type of steel that it's on?
No, that's because the grind lines were better on it, so it was able to take a better acid wash.
Dude, that knife is scary thin.
Yeah. Kathleen, I forget the exact length, but he can go a little bit longer. I want to say 16, but don't quote me on that.
That his oven will take?
Yeah. He's in the process of making getting ready to get started on making a huge carbon pig sticker for hunting. And that's going to be bigger, but that's going to be done in heat treated with parts and oil quench. That's not going to go in the oven. So,
how do you do that? With just a torch?
There's different ways you can do it with, a larger kiln. You can do it with different things, but I think from my understanding, that one, I don't know if he's doing that there or what he's doing. So,
Todd says the biggest he can do is 12 inches. Over that, it goes to Brian. That transparent.
Could be. I thought he had a little bit longer than that, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Either way, there's not a lot of them that are going to be that length. So. Okay, so 14. I thought it was 16, but yeah, so that makes sense.
That would be cool to have the ring on it. And you could probably, do you just cut that ring out, Kyle, or would you weld it on? How do you usually do a ring knife? You just cut it out, right?
Yeah, that would be included in the tank stock.
In the blank?
Yeah. So the only problem is then you have to get a really tall blank to be able to do that.
Right.
So then it's adding a considerable amount of cost, and you have a lot more material to remove by the handle and the blade.
Right. Which would be another reason if you're doing several to have them water jetted or cut out some way.
Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world then.
Like you should have put a ring on it. I used to not be a ring knife guy, but these TKLs were so forgiving. And the way that Melissa did hers with that removable ring that's part of the G10 handle is pretty cool. I didn't want one. I wanted the extended grip.
Yeah, to me, like the rings are only good for certain things. If it's a small knife that needs help deploying, then I'm okay with it. Outside of that, I don't really see a benefit in it.
It's just easier to pull it out of your sheath or wherever you've got it held. You don't see a retention. I guess
no.
It's easier.
I mean, yes and no. It's retention wise, but
in your hand, like your ability to hold on to it.
But the task that you'd be using that for, if you put your finger in there, you're going to break your finger off.
True.
So you're going to do more damage with that in there than not. So
that's why.
Yeah, I think it's okay for that. Yeah, Joe, I agree. But in a high stress situation, the bigger you have of a object to grab, the easier it is. But I agree. It's the same principle. But
I always reach for a small. The Nighthawk. The Nighthawk.
That's what
I couldn't remember it had a ring.
that is. And that's solely for the purpose of having it to be able to snag, to pull out.
Todd, when you hold it just like you would a regular knife, does the ring get in your way? Because I've noticed on my TKLs, they don't really. I never, like on my, I've got this 3V servant knives. It's got kind of a tight ring. And I can see how that would be a problem on your finger because it's so tight. But for a TKL, when I got to hold any of them, like this one here, the ring just, my hand just naturally goes in there.
Yeah.
This is a wicked knife, Kyle. I almost slayed my finger open at the booth with this. This is designed to use in a Pacal grip. Because the top sharpened. Night Stalker. Yeah, the Night Stalker's got the ring. The Night Hawk, I think, is just the Tanto.
Joe, I don't disagree. I mean, training is what it comes down to, but the point of the matter is the larger you have something to grab, it's just going to be easier.
Dark Gravity made a great point when his son was over at Blade Show looking at zombie knives. You don't want to have to take somebody out with the knife if you don't have to. That's the last resort. Your Freedom Pill dispenser is a much better choice.
Well, no. First of all, it depends on the situation you're in. If you got up close and personal, you're not going to have time to pull your Freedom Pill dispenser.
That's true.
So you got to make space, and that's what that's for, is to make space. And then
take a step back.
Then if you need to get to the other option, you have it. But that's not what. It's not a main. It's a last ditch type of effort. Because if you talk to anybody who's actually had a real world experience, you do not want to be in a knife fight. Because there is no, it's not like movies. You're not getting out of that without getting some nasty damage to yourself. So it's not something you want to do.
No, and I'll tell you, Twitter's not somewhere you want to go either. If you want to see people getting fucked up with knives, I don't know why it's in my algorithm. I want to find that knife because the Night Hawk might have a go. He's got a folder now. Yep, this is it, right? No, Night Hawk. It does have a ring. But see how big his rings are?
Yeah, but there's also a difference. Like something like that is designed to be more of a like a plate carrier chest rig type of deal, or a
exactly
waistband. That's not something that you're going to have concealed where you have to try to get under clothing and grab it.
No, this one maybe, and he's got some small ones, but this is a pretty small one. I carried this on Saturday. That's a cool knife. But he's starting to use that grip tech too. I think that was kind of the talk of the show. And then what won the best non-knife thing was this little ulti clip. Have you seen that, Kyle?
I have not seen that one yet. Like a wire clip almost?
It is. And you can mount it horizontally like that, or you can mount it vertically and just spread the wires out a little bit. It's got great retention. And this won the best original design non-knife thing at the show. I don't know how rigged that is. I just know that they were touting that.
Empty. I'm just telling facts, man. I haven't been in that situation. I hope I don't have to be.
Me neither. I think that would be a brutal way to have to defend yourself, but it would be better than not being able to defend yourself. Without a doubt. I play all those scenarios over my head. There have been some crazy social media posts the last few days that come from some of my prepper buddies that are also YouTube knife guys.
What do we got? We got 15 minutes, 20 minutes before
What time do they start? Hold on. We need to.
12:15.
Sometimes they start earlier. They could upcoming. And let's see. Let me click on it.
12:15. So we got
23 minutes and 15 seconds. Yep. So we'll go. What do you think, Kyle? About 5 more minutes?
Yeah, that's fine.
Give people time to do their business. So what do you got going for the weekend, buddy?
I've got some knives to sharpen. And then if it stops raining, some yard work. That's about it.
Yeah, I got the name of a guy that can come over and fix my mower if I can't get it started. I've got some issue. It's a new mower, like a couple years old. I don't know if it's the gas I'm putting in it. I'm getting at the filling station, but I've added some additive to it. But it'll start. It'll cut the yard great. A week later, I got to start it. It just wants to choke.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I'm not an engine guy.
I had to tune mine up this spring. It's only been a couple years old, but I put new spark plug and air filter and change the oil and that kind of stuff. And then
that's what needs to be done to mine, I'm sure. I mean, just that regular type of maintenance. But I really need, there's a place down the street I can take it, but I'm sure it'll set me back a couple $100, and they do kind of a season freshener. Yeah. But when I went to Blade Show, I had to get the yard guy to come by and do it, and that was painful. I hate doing that. Because for me, it's easy.
You know, it's crazy. It sucks now, but like even the
agree, Ground Fog. So unless you're like Kyle said, you're in a super close situation where that's not an option.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
tools. That's a great point.
The new mower is it requires higher octane gas. You can't just go put generic in it, which sucks.
Level on up. You know who Ian EDC or what is it? ENG EDC?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about the mower he got when he moved to Texas?
No.
Fucking robot, dude.
No.
He got one of those badass robots. Yeah, yeah.
A Roomba robot.
Yeah.
They've actually got some of those now that operate on golf courses, where they go around and operate and trim, and then they sense like when it gets up to certain areas that are pre-programmed that they can just back off and then go to someplace else. Or if someone's there, they can sense
so they can tell the difference between the rough and the fairway, and they can tell.
Well, they're only programmed to go into one, so it's cut as one, or it's programmed to go as in one area only.
And not only the precision, but you would think that would cut down on cost after a while. I mean, that's sad because
yes and no. I mean, yes, you got, but you don't have the control. You don't have the ability of what fine tuning what someone as an individual can do out there as a keeper. But
that's true, Jeffrey. And there are only a couple of stations here. Great point, Todd. I'm going to give it some work when the rain stops. I'm going to try both those things because I can basically, it's a small, I mean, I had a shop class where we used to take those engines apart when I was in middle school. So I've kind of lost that knowledge. But I was going to tell you something, Kyle. I can't remember what it was. It was Blade Show related, but it left me. It left me. It was somebody I bumped into over there that I didn't expect to bump into, but I can't remember. That's true. I mean, absolutely. That's where I've learned to do all the other non-manly or manly things that I wasn't trained to do is YouTube videos.
Yep.
That's why I felt guilty when I did this scale swap that went live today, is because it's really not that helpful because I don't think anybody will get as lucky as I did with the pivot. But just being a knife guy, I could not just break it apart again once I thread that pivot back in. It was some Jedi level shit. Bluminati, how are you, buddy? We've been thinking about you, my man.
What's up, Bloomy?
Good to see you, buddy. Well, Kyle, you got any parting words for these good people before we go to said faction and see what Stevie and them are up to?
No, just have a good weekend, guys, and be safe.
Everybody be safe. I missed y'all last Friday. Glad y'all are here. we will see you at said faction very, very soon. Guys, keep an eye out for the guy to your left. Keep an eye out for the guy to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Channel members, stop by tomorrow at 11 for a short live. And choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Kyle, love you, brother.
Take care.
Peace.
High on cigarettes. And when that stuff runs out, you're gonna wanna make it. Are you high on cigarettes?
Let's watch two wrongs witness and get high on cigarettes.